your political payoff. That's CRATE to 72881. One national entry will be drawn each hour during the contest. Message and data rates apply. Don't text and drive.
Get started on your home's to-do list. Is your siding cracked, faded, and rotting? Tired of putting a Band-Aid on your home? Now, through August 31st, Lakeside Exteriors is offering you 18 months interest-free financing or free entry door with the purchase of siding, soffit, and fascia. Give your home the facelift it deserves from professionals you know and trust. And call Lakeside Exteriors at 636-978-5000 or visit us at lakesideexteriors.com. Lakeside Exteriors, helping you create your dream home.
Try to think back to 30 years ago when gas was just 91 cents a gallon. The bank would pay you 10% on a CD. Pretty sweet, right? But what if you retired 30 years ago and you based your retirement expenses on those prices? Imagine how you feel today. That's the new reality. Steve All and Mel Brandon at the All Financial Group are hosting a series of workshops called The New Reality in Retirement. How do you keep up with all the changes in markets, Social Security, tax laws, interest rates, healthcare, and more? How do you make sure you don't run out of money? How do you prepare today for what might be a very expensive tomorrow? The next workshops are starting soon, so reserve your spot today to learn more about retiring in a new reality. The number is 636-230-8824. 636-230-8824. Or find the dates and locations that work for you at retirementwealthacademy.com. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance, including annuities, licensed in Missouri.
Traffic reports at your fingertips. Real-time traffic online. Log on to 971talk.com for real-time traffic updates.
Brought to you by Deck and Patio Living. Make your backyard dreams come true. Call 890-2222.
Hey, St. Louis, it's Brian Kilmeade.
Built by RP Lumber. Best service, best value. RP Lumber.
You're listening to The Brian Kilmeade Show. My name is Joe Kelly. You'll find me online as Talk Radio Joe. I'm at Talk Radio Joe on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And you can join the show here by calling 866-408-7669. We're joined in studio by Andrew McCarthy from nationalreview.com. And I do, Andrew, if you're all right with that, I'll take a phone call real quick and we'll get back to our discussion. I do want to pivot here and be able to talk about the Paul Manafort trial. First, let's go to Robert on line 7 in Brooksville, Florida. Hey, Robert, you're on the Brian Kilmeade Show.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I called in to comment on a couple things. One of them is Senator Warner, and I'm going to tell you my background. I'm a retired Army officer. I was on the way to play golf with 3 other retired Army officers. 2 out of the 4 have the top security clearance the national government could give you. And the bottom line is, for the hair on fire crowd, okay, it's a right to know. Do you need to know? So they might as well give you a security clearance, because last time I checked, Brennan, okay, is a CNN, okay, commentator. So what's he need a security clearance for? Okay, it's
well,
right to know.
That's exactly what President Trump evidently felt.
And one of your commentators said there's 5.1 million people out there with security clearances. I think everybody in this country, okay, would probably think to know, okay, how many national secrets, okay, went out through Hillary's email. So if Senator Warren is so concerned, okay, we have top secret information, okay, that everybody in the entire world, okay, already has, but Congress, okay, and the Senate, which really pisses me off.
Hey, Robert, thank you so much for your service. And please tell the gentleman and the rest of your foursome the same from the Brian Kilmeade Show. Thank you for your service. And I hope you have a great game of golf today, which is something that we do incredibly well here in the state of Florida. Andrew McCarthy, I know that you're following the Paul Manafort trial very closely, the closing arguments. Yesterday, the jury should be having that discussion right about now. Any chance you can predict an outcome?
Well, I think it's a very strong case against Manafort. His lawyers have done what I think was the best defense strategy, but, sometimes the best strategy doesn't necessarily prevail. What they decided to do was try to make the whole case about the accomplice, who was Rick Gates, and who had a very tough time on the stand, is kind of a pretty thoroughly dishonest person, even by his own now admission. And it's natural that if you're Manafort's side, what you would want to do is have the jury sort of see the case as the government's case as being embodied by Gates, so that if you think that you've blown Gates up as a witness, maybe the case gets blown up with him. The problem they have with that, Joe, is that this case was indicted before Gates came on board to be a cooperator. In fact, it was Gates and Manafort who were indicted together. And what that should tell everyone is that Mueller was prepared to proceed with this case without any accomplice witnesses. And because they're bank fraud counts and tax fraud counts, that kind of stuff is pretty powerfully proved by financial records, which really aren't in much dispute in the case. So if the jury thinks the case really lies in the records, Manafort's going down in flames. If they succeed, that is the Manafort defense, in making the jury think of Gates as the embodiment of the case, then I think he's got a shot.
Andrew, is not the goal of the Mueller team here to put the thumbscrews down on Manafort so he eventually turns on President Trump? Isn't that the goal? And if so, when they call the jury back, when they say we've reached a verdict, they call the jury back. I mean, is Manafort going to have until the very last second to say, okay, fine, I'll cop a deal?
Well, two things. I think it's fair to say that the reason that Mueller is expending such energy on Manafort is he definitely wants him as a cooperator. I've never been completely convinced that Mueller is absolutely hell-bent on making a case on President Trump, but I think he is hell-bent on getting to the bottom of collusion with Russia, if there was any, and finding out, what everybody did. On that score, I would note that, Mueller has had access to Gates for 6 months, and it would be hard for me to believe that Manafort has anything on President Trump that Gates doesn't already have. So I think, whatever there is for Mueller to plumb there, he's probably got access to a witness who can give it to him. But he would still want Manafort, Joe, I think, because, Manafort himself may be what Mueller regards as the important person to uncover here with respect to Russian links, because he had these links to this Ukrainian or this Kremlin-backed Ukrainian party as he came into the Trump organization or the Trump campaign. So I think that's what he's probably focused on.
Andrew McCarthy from National Review. Andrew, if I had a diary, I would be certainly writing this down right now. Dear diary, I got a chance to speak to Andrew McCarthy today. That's a highlight for me.
You're going right in my diary, too. How about that?
All right. Thank you, sir. I certainly do appreciate it. You can find out more from Andrew McCarthy. Just go to nationalreview.com. I'm Joe Kelly. This is The Brian Kilmeade Show.
Brett Baer.
When someone watches the news, they want someone they can trust. Our job is to cut through the talking points.
Martha McCallum.
We're going to ask the tough questions because there's a lot of conventional wisdom out there that needs to be challenged.
Shannon Bream.
What I'm doing is making sure that whatever is developed through the day, people are fully informed from coast to coast.
We're 24/7 news, but we're really down to the minute.
We're going to be fearless. We're going to be fair.
Whether it's 4 a.m. or midnight, we're there.
Fox News Channel. Real news, real honest opinion. The Fox News Rundown is a weekly morning podcast that dives deep into the major and controversial stories of the day. Hosted by the anchors of Fox News Radio. Subscribe now to hear a perspective of news you won't find anywhere else. Find it now on foxnewspodcasts.com. Download the one with Craig Gutfeld.
Like right now in this news cycle, it's all about immigration. And we're going to think it's the end of the world until next week.
Subscribe and listen now by going to foxnewspodcasts.com.
Lincoln Power Sports is your place to find all your power sports needs. ATVs, motorcycles, side-by-sides, and so much more. #1 in customer service, price savings, and never any out-the-door fees. Suzuki, Arctic Cat, Textron Off-Road, Kimco, Hustler, Echo, and Shindoa Power Products. Highly trained service and parts department. Oil and tire changes while you wait. Hassle-free sales and service. Lincoln Power Sports, located in Moscow Mills. Visit them online at LincolnPowersports.com.
Do you remember me?
Sure. You and your husband were moving to another home.
This is where we moved to.
It's beautiful.
Please, look at all the junk they left behind.
Point to what you would like to disappear, ma'am.
Well, let's start with that broken bird bath. That old swing set, and that nasty old yard furniture.
When you want junk to disappear, all you have to do is point.
And those broken tree limbs.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
KFTK FM Florissant, KFTK AM East St. Louis, K254CR St. Louis. Powered by thehomeloanexpert.com. FM News Talk, 97.1, a radio.com station.
Focusing on the positive, I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Trump at a cabinet meeting moments ago.
We're creating manufacturing jobs at the fastest pace in memory. Nobody has any numbers where it's anywhere close to what we're doing.
Touting the economy just hours after tweeting fresh criticism of the media, writing the fake news media is the opposition party. This after more than 300 newspapers put out coordinated editorials condemning the president's criticism as un-American and dangerous. President Trump not answering any shouted questions at that cabinet meeting. He started the meeting by paying tribute to Aretha Franklin after tweeting that she was a great woman with a gift from God. The 18-time Grammy winner lost her long battle with pancreatic cancer this morning. She was 76.
Political leaders and music legends all singing her praises. Paul McCartney tweeting, "Let's all take a moment to give thanks for the beautiful life of Aretha Franklin, the queen of our souls, who inspired us all for many, many years. She will be missed, but the memory of her greatness as a musician and a fine human being will live with us forever." Hillary Clinton also taking to Twitter, writing, "Mourning the loss today of Aretha Franklin, who shared her spirit and talent with the world. She deserves not only our respect, but also our lasting gratitude for opening our eyes, ears, and hearts. Rest in eternal peace, my friend."
Fox's Carly Shimkus. Right now, the Dow is up over 400 points, up 406, rallying on a combination of hope for progress in renewed trade talks between the U.S. and China, also on a positive second quarter sales report from Walmart. The Dow is back over 25,500. Fox News, fair and balanced.
This is the sound of a brand new outdoor grill being hurled off a 20-story building. Now a stylish glass coffee table. An electric guitar. These are the things you could enjoy, all cast into oblivion. Because when you throw away money on wasted electricity, you throw away everything you could have bought with it. Visit EnergySavers.gov and get tips on how to save energy and money. Then do things like switch to Energy Star light bulbs or Energy Star appliances, and you could save hundreds of dollars a year. So this doesn't happen to the recliner you've had your eye on, or this to the treadmill on your wish list, or this to the shiny new bike your kid's been asking for. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
97.1 News Time, 12:03. Good afternoon. I'm Tony Colombo. A St. Louis man is objecting to a finding that he is mentally unfit to stand trial in a shooting that paralyzed a suburban St. Louis police officer. Antonio Taylor made the objection in a motion filed yesterday through his public defender. A hearing is set for Friday on the finding that he's not competent. A jury in a Missouri state court in Jefferson City has awarded nearly $114 million for wages that the Missouri Department of Corrections had failed to pay 13,000 Missouri corrections officers. Following 6 years of litigation, the jury agreed that the Department of Corrections had unlawfully refused to pay those employees for hundreds of thousands of hours worked since 2007. A former Missouri state trooper who was driving a boat when a handcuffed Iowa man fell out and drowned is suing to get his peace officer license back. Anthony Piercy filed a lawsuit this week against the Missouri Department of Public Safety in an attempt to get a reversal of the decision that revoked his license. This news update brought to you by Amco Ranger Pest Control, protecting what matters since 1965.
Hey, everybody, it's Mark Close for Brinton Vision. My lovely bride, Fern, of some 36 years, has had some vision problems for a while now. Kind of dull vision, some blurry stuff, couldn't see distances. So we started doing our homework, and we found Dr. Brinton. Fern went in, had a procedure done. She had a lens implant, okay? Dr. Brinton does 7 different procedures, LASIK and 6 others, all FDA approved. Fern went in, I think I told you, a 20-minute procedure. She came out and she was seeing things that she had literally never seen before. She'll go into our backyard. We've been in this house 3 years, and she'll start looking. I never really noticed that. I didn't notice that. Dr. Brinton is great. He will sit down with you and explain everything. No question is off. Anything you need. In fact, he'll say, if anything comes up after the meeting, please call me, ask the question. I want you to feel very secure about this. This is your site. BrintonVision.com. Call 314-375-2020.
At Ameren, Illinois, we're committed to making the energy system stronger for your hometown and ours. From new natural gas lines in Godfrey to smart technology in Collinsville. Learn how we're investing in your community at amerenillinois.com/MetroEast. Ameren, Illinois. Energy at work.
Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Law Office of Lance Drury here in St. Louis. I'm sure you've seen or heard ads where people owed the IRS thousands of dollars and their tax bills were miraculously reduced to nothing. I'm here to tell you the same companies that run those ads are the ones that routinely force clients to call me when they don't resolve their IRS problems and stop returning calls. Look, the IRS doesn't make it easy to resolve a case. So don't waste precious time and money. Contact me, Lance Drury, today. I'm a local tax attorney and I've helped hundreds resolve their IRS problems quickly and cost efficiently. Schedule a free confidential appointment and let's take control of your situation and protect your legal rights. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. You need an experienced tax attorney. You need me, Lance Drury. Call 314-260-6120 or toll free 888-367-6512 or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
If you have retirement questions, you can bet Marvin Mitchell probably has the answer. Join him every Saturday at 4 and Sunday at 1 for Rethinking Retirement. With his years of experience, Marvin can help take the guesswork out of your retirement planning. Rethinking Retirement is your source for all things retirement, from how current events could affect your savings to strategies to maximize your retirement income and everything in between. Don't miss Rethinking Retirement with Marvin Mitchell every Saturday at 4 and Sunday at 1.
The only way you can take FM News Talk 97.1 with you is the Radio.com app, available on your smartphone in the App Store. Download the Radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
The Annie Frey Show.
This hour brought to you by the Rick and Tracy Ellis Real Estate Team. Heard right here on 97.1, Saturdays at 9 and Sundays at 10. Visit TracyEllis.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Hey, folks, welcome into the Annie Frey Show. It's a sad day in the music community. The passing of Aretha Franklin. She was 76 years old. We talked about her a little bit. Was it Tuesday? Today's Thursday. And at that point in time, she had been in hospice, and you had reported, Tony, that she was surrounded by her family.
Yep.
And so she passed away this morning.
Yeah, they were all aware, like they were all
So
told that
coming.
It was, it was just a matter of time, and so that at least gave her family and her closest friends time to be there with her. And reports as of that, when we talked about it on Tuesday, her family was saying that she was alert and she was in good spirits and she was joking and teasing them.
As far as we know, she didn't have cancer or anything like that. She was just, right?
No.
There's no indication.
No, pancreatic cancer.
She did have
That's
pancreatic
what it was.
cancer.
Yep.
Okay. So they would have been anticipating this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
Also
such
explains
a loss.
the weight loss.
We were talking when we were putting some music together for the show, and we were listening to some of her songs. She's just so stinking good.
So great.
And age didn't really slow her down a whole lot. And we've got some of that sound for you today, so hopefully you enjoy that. So Aretha Franklin dies today at the age of 76. Tony, what story you got for us today?
Today could be a big day. We will see what happens.
In
but
this
the
news
jury,
cycle.
Yes. The jury has begun deliberating whether to convict ex-Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort on federal bank and tax charges. This is all stems from charges brought by the Mueller probe, but it's not connected to what the Mueller probe was originally put together.
Everybody calls in the show and says, "Look at all the people who've been indicted."
Right.
And it's like
none of them have had no.
It does. The Mueller probe was supposed to look into the election meddling with Russia and Donald Trump. And in the process of doing this, did some people lie? Yes. Is that wrong? Yes. That's okay. But it's not okay. But I mean, I'm understanding where some of these indictments are coming in. But when you're making a case against this president because you hate him and you hate his policies, and you're citing things like the Paul Manafort trial, it is not Exhibit A in why the president stole the election from Hillary Clinton. Anyway, go on.
I think the only thing that you could accuse the president of is maybe picking the wrong, like maybe he shouldn't have put this guy on his team.
Better judgment in your selections.
Nothing.
And we have several indications
nothing
of that.
Illegal. Right. Right. Nothing illegal. None of this has anything to do with his ties to the president, his ties to the White House, his ties to the campaign. This is all tax evasion and bank fraud charges that all occurred decades before he was a part of the Donald Trump.
A lot of
White
people
House
made a big deal out of
campaign.
the fact that Paul Manafort's defense team did not call a witness at all to when it was their turn. And as you were saying before, they felt as though the prosecution didn't do their job.
We've heard the defense attorneys say that they believe that the government, the prosecution, has not met its burden of proof. They didn't call anyone, like you said. Paul Manafort himself never took the stand. He wasn't called either. Most people as I was watching all the pundits go over this last night and reading things this morning, people believe that they're not going to be deliberating long. That's what most legal quote-unquote experts are predicting. So hopefully we will have some news on this by the end of the show or by the end of the day.
Yeah.
And hopefully they're right that this is not, most people are saying that they do not expect this jury to go on for days and days. And most were predicting that they would be back in this
jurors.
first day. So we'll see. It has to be unanimous.
Has to be unanimous.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And it'll be interesting. I'm really interested to see how this goes, because whether if you're pro-Trump or anti-Trump, it doesn't really matter. Whatever happens to Manafort here will reflect on the president, just like Omarosa's nuttiness is reflecting on the president now, because he associated her with him and with the administration. Paul Manafort is another person who the president had associated with him. And I go back to the point that this president was not a politician. He was not an experienced campaigner, and he went to people who wanted to help him, at least on the surface, and I think that there were missteps along the way. Now, I think that you can look at a lot of campaigns, specifically Hillary Clinton. You could talk to people, not Hillary Clinton herself, because she didn't do anything wrong if you ask her. But when you talk to people that are in the campaign or were in the campaign or in the Democratic Party, and they're reacting to the decisions they made, the places they didn't go, the votes they thought that they were going to get no matter what, there are missteps they would certainly try to correct too. So let's keep watching that. If something comes up with that, Tony, make sure you break in and let us know about that. Frank, what do you have for today?
Well, do you know who Sandra McDowell is?
Yes, I do. Who is Sandra McDowell?
She won the.
Yeah, I know the name.
She won the Missouri auditor primary here a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
she's from Kansas City. and she's facing off against the current Democrat auditor in Missouri, Nicole Galloway. Correct. There's an issue possibly with her candidacy. The problem is she's a native of Oklahoma. The Missouri Constitution says you have to be a Missouri resident for 10 years prior to the election of this fall. She didn't move to Missouri until 2010.
Oh, so
she may not. There's some questions as to whether or not she can claim Missouri residency for 10 years. She says she had intended to be a Missouri resident before November 6th of 2008.
I was thinking about it, but
right. She says that they were attending law school with her and her husband. She said they had decided before they were married that they would move to Missouri after graduation. They married in February of 2009.
Seems like something she should have looked into and addressed a long time ago.
Correct.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Sandra McDowell is going to be on the Weekend Report this weekend.
Talk about this specifically.
And she's going to address this. All right.
Now, there are interesting
Saturday, 5 to 7.
legal arguments. University of Missouri's law school professor says somebody can't claim a place of residence where they've never actually lived. He says an intention to go live there may make someone a prospective resident, but not an actual one. He says otherwise I like this line from him. Otherwise, I could declare myself a resident of Hawaii simply based on my as yet unrealized hope that I will someday retire amongst the palms.
Yeah, no, there's no. It is that's black and white to me. And if they determine to make an exception there, I don't know how that exception is made.
If you're going to make an exception, you may as well change the law.
Yeah, but I don't know if you change the law, it doesn't change retroactively, does it? Well,
you would have to change the Constitution of the state,
which isn't happening before November
6th.
Yeah, so I guess the question is, do you go to second place in the primary and they become the candidate? Do we know?
Don't know.
We don't know.
We haven't gotten to that. There has to be a challenge of her spot on the ballot. Here, I think around the time of the end of this month, I think. Once everything becomes officially certified, there has to be a challenge of her spot within 5 days.
So if nobody challenges her on it, it's not like she goes and wins in November and then they go, she's out. Give it to the...
I don't know. I think it's sort of a legal...
Missouri's doing a crack job on newfound political what the heck do we do now scenarios in 2018.
Yeah.
How do we replace the lieutenant governor?
Yeah.
Let's just pick somebody.
Yeah. Well, if I could actively argue both ways that they went with the lieutenant governor, and I don't know that either way would be right or wrong because the Constitution doesn't address it. So, and little to no precedent there as far as I remember, right? Never done it before.
Right.
No, it had been done before.
But that way?
That way, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not... This was still a unique circumstance.
Yes, with the removal of a governor and so on and so forth. All right, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Katie, what you got?
So,
thank you.
Ronda Rousey is sharing her thoughts on the Me Too movement. She has that new film coming up.
Does she have problems with the Me Too movement?
It's not...
I mean, does she have Me Too problems? I think she can handle them.
Yeah, I bet that she could beat anyone's butt.
Excuse me, what did you say to me?
What? Look at these guns. So she's saying that there has become, the interaction between men and women have changed since the Me Too movement has happened. Lots of people from the opposite sex are becoming increasingly uncomfortable with being in the same room as one another. This is what she's observed. She says, to be honest, I don't really have that much experience with the Me Too movement. I noticed men and women seem almost less comfortable around each other since the movement.
Sure.
And I don't know if it's less comfortable. I think they're becoming more aware.
Well, the thing that I would say is that we are all always relying on cultural norms and standards. So there are things you do and there are things you don't do.
Yeah.
And then there is a little bit of gray area, and where you get to be in that gray area is dependent on how much you know the person you're interacting with. So for someone who you've never met before to come from, I'll speak for myself. and Katie, you know this about me. We've, I think, talked about this before. I'm not really a hugger. I like meaningful hugs. I like purposeful hugs. If somebody's really happy, really excited, and you want to congratulate them, a hug is a great way to do that. Same thing if somebody's sad or something bad just happened and you want to give a hug to console someone. I'm very happy to be there to provide that. But I don't do the just casual, hi, it's nice to meet you, in an embrace. I don't feel comfortable doing that. But you, Katie,
Yes, I love it.
Tony, you say you're a hugger.
Big time.
And it's just your perception of that is different than mine. So when you don't know how somebody feels, are you going immediately into the hug, or are you?
Well,
how
to
do
your
you
point,
assess the gray area?
To your point, we had a discussion about this on the Dave Glover show the other day because Tim Convey came into the room from Y98, who's on Dave's show as a regular all the time. He came in and we gave each other a hello hug, which we do every time. And Mark and Dave were like, whoa, we're on the hugging level. And Tim was like, yeah, we
hug all the time.
We do the hello hug all the time. And Rachel said, I don't ever get a hug. And there's no way. I was like, there's no way.
No.
That I would ever come in here or anywhere and hug one of my female coworkers.
Sure. It's
no chance.
And you will teach your son all the ins and outs of the implications. And it's not even, it's the Mike Pence thing. We've talked about this before. When Mike Pence doesn't sit down and have dinner with women alone, it's not because Mike Pence can't control himself. It's not because he thinks the other women can't control themselves. But if a woman sits down with a man and they are in private and they leave and a story is told, it's one person's word against the other. And Mike Pence, who was a governor, was he a senator before that or a representative? He was in Congress somewhere, I think.
A radio host.
Yeah, that's right. And now the vice president of the United States needs not put himself in a scenario where it's his word against the other. Because what does he have to lose and what do other people have to gain by throwing that out there? And I will add also, this is, okay, the glass ceiling and women earning 70 cents on the dollar and so on and so forth. I feel very blessed to have the women's rights movement behind us to the point where I can now benefit from that. But I will tell you at the same time, when a male boss will not even think anything of it to go out to lunch with a male person, a counterpart or someone who works with him, but doesn't want to do that with a female, that puts the female at a huge disadvantage. A huge disadvantage because you don't develop the personal relationship.
You can't blame the boss for that.
No, you can't. No. But this is the environment that we're now living in. But it makes it more difficult for a woman who is working in a male-dominated environment to break through some of that relationship kind of expectation that exists between a lot of the men. Golfing. Men will go out and, if lunch. If Dave wanted to take you out golfing, that would nobody would think anything of it. But then if somebody wants to take, if there's a male and a female and they are doing things on a regular basis together, even if there's nothing there, you have to be prepared to answer the questions that what if there were? And
it doesn't even have to go that far.
Oh,
like we started, we came into this new building with this new company a few months back, and I'm not going to walk around this building and pass female coworkers in the hall that I've only known for a couple months and tell them that they look nice today.
Yeah.
Because that's
good point.
That's really risking.
You're leaving it to interpretation.
Yeah.
And the repeating of it you could repeat the same words and the connotation and the tone could be off. But I mean, this is the result of the Me Too movement. Now, has the Me Too movement stopped skeezy bosses from lording themselves over women? I think it probably has made quite an impact. I think that's a good thing.
Absolutely.
But it still is worth mentioning that when you have an integrated work environment, there are things like that where women are just at a disadvantage. And if the woman is the boss, I don't want to be Hillary Clinton and assume that all bosses are men because they're not. But when a woman is is the boss, she equally has to be careful about having men come in. And there's just a different interpretation.
Equally?
On the outside looking in.
You think the worry of a female boss interacting with a male subordinate
I don't necessarily think that maybe the
I agree that
the curious minds, I think the thoughts are different. I think that the motivations are different. I think women are just looked at differently. And so women have to rise above that. It's like, hey folks, this is the reality. I remember seeing that image or that video of that waitress who the guy went past her and grabbed her behind or whatever, and she like laid him out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say men don't experience that. I worked at a country club. I knew that there were times where the men got hit on by women as well. But I just think that people observe women in a different way than men. And the best thing you can do is be aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
But the Me Too movement has changed the landscape. And we are definitely in a hyper hands-off time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just better for everyone. And then hopefully it gets back into a place where we can be smart and intelligent about it. And most of all, the biggest thing that needs to come out of the Me Too movement is that women or men who feel like they've been wronged in a way need to feel comfortable enough to come up and speak out and say what happened.
Totally.
So
building comfortable environments.
Aretha Franklin, dead at age 76. Very sad to see her go. We're going to miss her voice, but we have lots and lots and lots of her wonderful music that has been left behind. Nick Schroer is going to come on the show with us next and talk to us a little bit about Clean Missouri. We've had a couple of inquiries about Clean Missouri, so we're going to ask him about that and some of the other news of the day. So stay tuned for State Rep Nick Schroer and also Tyrus in the 1 o'clock hour, and Robin Simcox, who is the author of Potential Terrorist Case in New Mexico, draws attention to growing use of children in terrorist plots, is going to talk to us about the latest in that New Mexico situation, which is so bizarre. So stay tuned. A lot more coming up.
But it don't take too much time to see what you're doing to me. You better think about
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Watch the Mark Cox Show live on the Granite Transformation Studio Cam at 971talk.com/Cox. Log on to our website or use your mobile device to join the daily live stream and watch the show. It's the Granite Transformation Studio Cam at 971talk.com/Cox.
A little prevention goes a long way, especially when it comes to the way you look. Learn more at RideNow@PlasticSurgery.com or call 314-878-8600. Stay as beautiful as you feel with RideNow, 878-8600.
Convergent Wealth Management. You can find them online at convergentwm.com. What a great place to take your finances, your future. Really, what it comes down to, when you're looking at wealth management, you are planning out the course of the rest of your life. You want to make your money work for you. The thing about Convergent Wealth Management is that they're focused on helping and serving their clients. They're fiduciaries. And by design, they act in the best interest of their clients. Their slogan is Wealth for the Way. That means that they are going to make sure that when you tell them about your future, the things that you have planned, they're going to look at your values and help make that a possibility for you. They're going to give you honest advice, and they're going to do it in a way that reflects your best interests. ConvergentWM.com online, ConvergentWM.com. They're not a brokerage firm. That means brokerage firms are commission-based, company-driven. Like I said, they are driven by you. You walk in, they listen to your situation, they listen to your wants, your desires, and they work very hard to make that happen. ConvergentWM.com.
Hey, you know why thousands of homeowners have had their homes coated with Rhino Shield permanent ceramic coating? To eliminate the hassle and expense of painting year after year after year. With Rhino Shield's 25-year warranty, you coat your home once and you're done, guaranteed. And guys, not only can you scratch painting your home every few years off your honey-do list, Rhino Shield comes in your favorite color, the color that makes your wife happy. Rhino Shield is perfect for wood, brick, stucco, hardy board, steel, and vinyl. And unlike vinyl, Rhino Shield resists mold and mildew. So why wait? Call now for your free estimate. 877-25-RHINO. Rhino Shield permanent ceramic coating for your home or business. 877-25-RHINO.
Don't paint, don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Rhino Shield Permanent Ceramic Coating. It's more affordable than you think. Call 877-25-RHINO or visit 877-25rhino.com.
Ever notice some jewelry stores feel like a drive-thru?
Welcome to Cookie Cutter Jewelry. May I take your order, please?
I'll have the number 3. Same old engagement ring. Hey, could I get it with a larger center diamond with a Takori setting? Maybe with a halo?
No, sir, this isn't Diamonds Direct. We don't have so many choices. We don't even carry Decory. We're really more into mass production, so what'll it be?
Okay, I guess I'll just have a regular number 3.
Yeah, would you like to add a limited warranty for an extra $200 a year?
Sure.
Looking for more? Just keep driving to Diamonds Direct, where your menu of choices includes thousands of engagement rings from the world's top designers like Takori, Verragio, and Henry Dossi. Not generic rings, unique handcrafted, fashion-forward rings she'll be proud to show off.
Drive up to the second window, sir. There you go.
Excuse me, I think I got the wrong order.
Actually, it doesn't matter. They're all the same. Have a nice day.
Making the decision of a lifetime soon? Take your time with the experts at Diamonds Direct and select the ring that's as unique as the one you love. Diamonds Direct.
A lot of nasal congestion, especially at night, facial pain, pressure.
Cynthia suffered for years with chronic sinus infections. She was fed up.
I was in my primary care physician's office and she was prescribing another course of antibiotics. And I think at that moment, I just thought, this is ridiculous. There has to be some other option.
She set an appointment with Dr. James Gould at the St. Louis Sinus Center. Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office called balloon sinuplasty.
I was home within a few hours and back to work the next morning. I could breathe so much easier, especially with activity and at night, being able to sleep a lot better. My energy level was increased, being a mom and being able to be more active with my little one. At least to me, that was the most important thing.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections? Set an appointment today with Dr. James Gould at the St. Louis Sinus Center. Call 314-449-8761. 449-8761. That's 449-8761.
Dave Glover.
They think of the right as being puritanical. They're such fuddy-duddies. Well, you're really the Puritans. You're the ones who won't allow anything creative to be done.
Dave Glover. Weekdays at 3 on FM News Talk 97.1.
Looking out on the morning rain, I used to feel so uninspired. And when I knew
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
it made me feel so tired. Before the day I met you, life was so unkind. And you're the key to my peace of mind. 'Cause you made me feel.
Normally you're singing in the studio. You're not really giving us your best natural woman.
It's a little different.
You can sing this song. You can.
Oh, I've sang this song.
But right now he's focused on...
Absolutely. There was a, I think it was the band Better Than Ezra. I think.
Yeah.
You remember that band? They had the big song Good.
We play it on the show.
I think they covered... I think they sang this. They did this song every time, in all their shows.
Oh, really? Gosh, that's amazing.
I think it was Better Than Us. It was one of those '90s bands that was.
I love them.
A one or two hit wonder kind of thing, and
I know somebody else who could probably sing the heck out of the song. State Representative Nick Schroer joining the show.
I'm glad you guys didn't have me on because I was actually singing.
I knew you would be. I knew you would be.
Go, Nick.
It's a great one. It is. Kind of get some
Between
feelings
that and
out.
Whitney Houston, Bodyguard.
Oh yeah. If you would do a video of yourself singing that and send it to the Annie Frey Show, I think we could make things happen for you.
Let's do it.
I think it would.
Let's
be
do it.
Nick, I'll do
Tony
this.
needs to sing backup.
Yeah, I was just going to offer it. I was just going to say I'll do the
show.
I'll do the
Get you a record
show.
label here.
I'll do those. I'll be that guy. Show. As you're singing, I got your back.
Get some beehives
there.
for you guys. I'm excited about this. We're making plans
So
now.
am I.
Yeah,
making some moves.
You know,
I'm going to
Nick,
mark it in my calendar.
put it anywhere you mark it. Just let us know. We'll be there. There was a Post-Dispatch article out lately, and it kind of casually mentioned Clean Missouri, and this has come up a couple of times. And I want you to reset the table. Now that we're out of the primary, we have a candidate. We're past Prop A. We've got answers on all of those questions. Clean Missouri's kind of it's creeping back up on us. What What are people telling us Clean Missouri is, and what are you feeling it actually is?
So this Trojan horse known as Clean Missouri is being sold as ethics reform. They're going to clean it up. They're going to put a lot of fairness in it to give the power back to the people. It's a nice song and dance, but that's what the Democrats do every time. They've done it with Raise Your Hands for Kids. I think that was back in 2016, and we saw right through. We did our research. This go-around, we look at Section 3 of this, and what it would actually do is currently the portion of our law which redistricts everything per census. They look at the census, they look at the population, and there's a group of bipartisan legislators, equal. One doesn't have an upper hand. They get together, they look at the census, they figure out what is the best way to redistrict everything per the new. I believe last time this group was unable to come to a consensus, so they turned to a nonpartisan judge, and in Missouri we have the nonpartisan court plan. So they turn to the judges, and the judges will then, if we can't make it up and make up a plan which we're all in agreement with, Republicans and Democrats, then the courts do it. And the Democrats year after year have been saying that Republicans are guilty of gerrymandering. We're fixing these elections because they're so sad, and just like the Trump election, they can't accept it. And they blame everything except for Hillary being a terrible opponent. Here, they blame gerrymandering. So what this Clean Missouri would do is actually muddy the waters and make politics in Missouri more difficult. And I think you said it best a couple months back, is this is actually Clean Missouri of conservatives, of Republican voices. So Section 3 would actually allow for the only current statewide Democrat, and there's only one of them, it's the auditor. What the heck does the auditor have to do with redistricting, with elections? So this would give her the power to appoint one person, not a group that we have currently of bipartisan people, not a judge. She would appoint one person to redistrict as they see fit. And what this would do, just like in your hometown of Illinois, it would enact a spoken wheel method of redistricting to where, let's say, Wentzville or Warren County would be in the same exact district, running up and connecting it with the city of St. Louis by using the highway system.
Yeah.
And this has been shown to give the advantage to the Democrats. This has been shown to actually take Missouri's voice away, and it's actually going to be bad by making politics in the state of Missouri more dirty.
So when people challenge your description of this, what are they saying that you're getting wrong?
Well, they point to us. They point to the current method right now being unfair, quote unquote, unfair, because it's political gerrymandering, according to them, which it isn't. You know, if anybody is aware of the facts and fully apprised of what's going on currently in the state of Missouri, this is the fair system that you have. You have a 50-50 Republican-Democrat group. If they can't come up with a solution, it goes to the courts. Here, when I point to Section 3 and have them read it, they say, well, it's about enacting fairness. Well, what is unfair about what we have currently in place? Nobody can answer that. They just point, like most progressives do, to the finger-pointing and name-calling, saying that's gerrymandering what we have in place now. But when you have a system that's been funded by the likes of George Soros with his Move Ballot Initiative, and this is all documented. Even STL Today came out with a big article on this. So the Move Ballot Initiative, George Soros funded, Planned Parenthood, labor unions, these are all groups that want to enact this because it's going to help them. It's going to help them take away more conservative voices in Missouri legislature, and it's going to help them by putting more hardcore liberals that have been denied time and time again at the polls, put them in power. So
you said the power goes back, if in the Clean Missouri effort, that it goes to the auditor. Currently, that's Galloway, who's the only Democrat holding office for the state at that level. Have you heard this story about the Sandra McDowell, who's like an 8-year resident of Missouri, not a 10-year resident?
Yeah, I've actually heard rumors of that when she was running.
Do you have any comment on that?
What's that?
Do you have any comment on that? Like, we're not really sure what happens next.
Well, if she is unqualified per the statutes, which I believe you have to be here a resident of 10 years, I think that she would get kicked off the ballot. And I don't know, I'm not too much aware of what goes on after that. If the Republicans get to pick somebody else, if Wassinger would get picked, or if our friend Paul Kirkman would get picked, or if it would just be an uncontested race. But I think that's what they're counting on. They're counting on somebody, and that's why they're pouring millions into Galloway. I think she's got $1.5 million around there in her campaign coffers. But it's just a sad way that the Democrats are doing this time and time again, going around misleading the people of Missouri so they can try to inject themselves in politics here when they're being denied on face value when they run on their campaigns and their failed policies.
Mm-hmm. Did anyone bring this to light before? Like during the primary, was it out there? I don't recall hearing anything about it when they were going into the election, but it just seems interesting that after she has won that they are now coming out with this assertion.
Well, talking to some of the candidates, and I had friends all around that race, and I heard some rumors, but, with the majority of colleagues that I have, they're very conservative. They're not going to come and spread rumors without actually having proof, and they want their policies. They want their campaign to stand alone from any type of scrutiny and just run a clean race. And that's what I think, people like Paul Wassinger, those guys did. Even Sandra did. But it would be a shame if she would have ran and wasted our time, our votes, if she knew that she was unqualified. I think that's going to be right into the hand of this Clean Missouri initiative, because it would be in favor of Galloway winning an election. And I think the polls right now are showing that it's a close race, but Sandra McDowell is actually winning.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen if she on the ballot?
Yeah. Well, we're going to keep an eye on it, and we're also going to be paying attention to this Clean Missouri effort to see how that unfolds. State Representative Nick Schroer, the 107th District, thank you so much for coming on today, and let us know when that Natural Woman video is done, and we'll make you famous.
We're gonna get on that, and hopefully me and Tony will have a video here soon.
I'm so excited. Show. Yep. All right, Nick.
I'm working
thank you.
on it.
Appreciate you. We'll talk to you again sometime soon. The Clean Missouri. When it comes to district drawing, the state of Illinois is going to be doing this too, and the governor is going to be the one who is going to be in the room when that takes place, which is one of the main reasons why people feel very passionate about Rauner being the person in the room versus a J.B. Pritzker. And Illinois is pretty jacked up as it is when it comes to the district and how they've been drawn, and you give them the keys and the driver's seat, and good Lord knows what they can do with the rest of the state. So 314-241-9797 if you want to weigh in on this. We're going to get to this very interesting poll. Did you hear about the black approval rating of the president? If you haven't yet, you're going to definitely want to hear it as soon as we come back. We'll have those numbers and your phone calls as soon as we return. Don't go anywhere.
I didn't know just what was wrong.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather.
The official FM News Talk 97.1 Weather Center forecast. Times of clouds and sunshine today. Very warm and humid with a high of 89. Partly to mostly cloudy, warm and muggy tonight with a shower or thunderstorm, low 73. For tomorrow, variable cloudiness. It'll be humid with a shower and thunderstorm in the area, high 85. Then for Saturday, partly sunny, very warm and humid with a high in the upper 80s to near 90. I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg for FM News Talk 97.1.
The $1,000 political payoff.
This hour's keyword is neighbor. Anybody?
Neighbor.
Would
you like to be my...
There you go.
Neighbor. Say neighbor. How do you spell neighbor?
Neighbor. You let
Say it, neighbor.
You let
now.
your dog go to the bathroom in the yards
At
of the
your
people
neighbor.
that live around you. You are a bad neighbor. Text the word neighbor to 72881 by the end of the hour for your chance to win your $1,000 political payoff. That's neighbor to 72881. Message and data rates apply. This is a national contest. For complete rules, visit 971talk.com/rules.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show, live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service offers residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Dentistry with TLC has that braces consultation for just $1 through the end of August. So that means you just have a couple weeks left to get yourself on the schedule. 618-466-0733, 618-466-0733. One of the best things about Dr. Anna Smith and Dentistry with TLC is you can call that number and you can text that number. And if you're like me, and I know you are, you're busy, you're going from point A to point B, it's a lot easier to shoot off a text to have the folks at the office there find when they can get you an appointment. They shoot it back to you. You put it on your calendar. You go. You're done. fantastic to be able to do that with Dr. Anna Smith. That braces consultation will quickly and painlessly evaluate your situation and let you know what types of braces will work best for your unique situation. There are so many kinds of braces that are available to you. You can have children evaluated as early as age 8. And sometimes she can even help the teeth grow into the mouth and avoid the possibility of having braces at all. But Dr. Anna Smith's oldest patient was 84 years old, so you have no excuses. If you want straighter teeth, go make your appointment with Dr. Anna Smith at Dentistry with TLC, 618-466-0733, 618-466-0733, or online at dentistrywithtlc.com.
Savage Summer continues at Tactical where right meow, we have Oakley tactical gear and Oakley sunglasses.
Are you telling me I never have to go to the mall and deal with some gender-confused millennial when I need a new set of Oakleys?
Never again.
Wow.
Don't get stuck in neutral. Shift your retirement plan into overdrive with Your Retirement Highway with Ken Heisey and Steve Muller from the Heisey Advisory Group. Saturday nights at 7 on FM News Talk 97.1.
Summertime is the best time for adventure. Time to set the standard, blaze the trail, and go above and beyond. Because nothing beats the luxury and capability of a Land Rover, capable of taking you on a summer adventure you'll never forget. Right now at Land Rover St. Louis, save $19,000 off MSRP on a new 2016 Land Rover Range Rover Sport Supercharged V8. Your summer adventure awaits at Land Rover St. Louis, a Plaza Motor Company on Olive Boulevard in Creve Coeur and online at LandRoverSt.Louis.com. MSRP $90,716.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-262-2917. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns, help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-262-2917 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-262-2917 to see if you qualify. That's 800-262-2917.
Get started on your home's to-do list. Is your siding cracked, faded, and rotting? Tired of putting a Band-Aid on your home? Now, through August 31st, Lakeside Exteriors is offering you 18 months interest-free financing or free entry door with the purchase of siding, soffit, and fascia. Give your home the facelift it deserves from professionals you know and trust. And call Lakeside Exteriors at 636-978-5000 or visit us at lakesideexteriors.com. Lakeside Exteriors, helping you create your dream home.
Trending on FM News Talk 97.1.
Members of the church.
There's a lot of corruption.
Omarosa, what happened?
I'm going to blow the whistle on all of it.
Child sex abuse.
In the U.S. Catholic Church.
Ye shall know the truth.
Secrets out now.
Stay connected.
Paul Manafort has been charged with conspiracy.
FM News Talk 97.1.
I believe the government has failed to meet their burden of proof. We believe the jury will find him guilty.
Younger, smarter.
The Queen of Soul.
Aretha.
Better.
The only way you can take FM News Talk 97.1 with you is the radio.com app, available on your smartphone in the App Store. Download the radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
The Annie Frey Show.
This hour brought to you by the Rick and Tracy Ellis Real Estate Team. Heard right here on 97.1, Saturdays at 9 and Sundays at 10. Visit TracyEllis.com.
Show.
Hi guys, some super exciting news.
black support for Donald Trump is at 39%, which is amazing. It just keeps tracking upward. But I did feel a little bit bad when I considered how hard the Democrats have been working to make sure if this didn't happen. They have been working in overtime. They have been working day in and day out to make sure that black people did not wake up to the fact that they are mentally enslaved to the Democrat Party.
Candace Owens there. Oh, that free thinker, just free thinking all over the place for everybody to just free think their opinions about what she has to say. I'm sure that rings differently for any individual person who hears that, but 39%. Is that what she said? 39%? It's upper 30s.
Mm-hmm.
This page here says 36%.
I think it is 36%. That's what I read.
Yeah. Either way, it's upper 30s. And the interesting thing here is that it has significantly increased it. It's if the Democrats are going to continue to win elections, if they're going to continue to see progress the way that they have wanted to see progress in the past, they cannot lose the votes of people who have been made out to be victims and reminded that they're victims and then told that they should only vote on that victimhood status. Women are the same way. Women are supposed to vote for Democrat. Women's issues are not conservative. If you are somebody who stands for women's issues, whether you're a man or a woman, you are standing for progressive ideals. Isn't that kind of bizarre? Like, you would be talking to me and say I'm against women's issues? I'm absolutely not. A, I'm a woman. B, I'm raising two girls, future women. But the way that they've compartmentalized different issues, namely the abortion issue, and then they smartly so do some really good PR here and put the label women's issues on the top. How do you go against women's issues? How do men go against women's issues? Because remember, abortion, if it's a women's issue, the main reason why a lot of men are considering themselves pro-choice has very little to do with the actual abortion. They might even dislike the process, the practice of abortion, but they don't feel as though it's their place to weigh in. So they can't go towards the pro-life adaptation of how they feel about the issue. And they certainly wouldn't consider themselves to be pro-abortion. But since it's a women's issue, and, you know, going back into, it's not the same, but it's a neighbor of the issue, the Me Too movement. Men are having to learn and know their place in the sense that there is no room for error anymore, even well-intended error. You can't in this day and age, you can lose everything with one mistake. And it all comes down to the division that exists between the genders. And the party that is making that division apparent and important is the Democratic Party. It's the progressive movement that wants to make sure that they highlight the fact that women are victims and men are victimizers. And, you know, you may not feel as a man that you are a victimizer towards women, but just know that your gender is and act accordingly. Well, that certainly isn't fair. And that certainly isn't a healthy way to raise our future men, to be frightened all the time, scared all the time when it comes to interactions with the opposite sex. And girls to always, you know, the women's rights movement was supposed to be about providing women an equal opportunity at the table, an equal opportunity to weigh in on decisions, to make decisions, to have their voice be heard through the lens of what happened in their mind and came out of their mouth, and not, well, he's a man, let's listen to what he has to say. Well, she's a woman, you know, she's a small thinker. That's what it used to be. And then now the women's rights movement has gotten us to the point where we do sit at the table and women do contribute and women do make decisions. But politically speaking, that isn't advantageous enough to the Progressive Party. And they've used a movement. It's just like crying racism with everything. Does racism exist? You bet racism exists. And it's disgusting every single time. However it's applied, when you are looking at one race of people, no matter color, no matter origin, whatever it might be, and you're hating based on that, that's awful. But this compartmentalizing, this putting people in a box, that has been a winning political strategy from the left for a long time. And this poll is proving to us that that's changing. Kanye West coming out and saying that he likes the way Candace Owens thinks and having the audacity to not trash Donald Trump every single opportunity he gets is a huge deal. Just because people might look at Kanye West and think he's crazy, everybody's always looked at Kanye West and thought he was a little crazy. I mean, that's what he does. That's Kanye. That's what he is and what he's made his career out of. But when he speaks up about that, people who have questioned it before but been too afraid to say anything about it, because why would you? What do you have to gain and what do you have to lose? If you're just talking about social conversation with your friends and family, you might have a lot to lose. People certainly have lost relationships over the support of Donald Trump. That has happened. It might have happened to you. It is possible that your support for this president, your vote for this president, your lack of support for Hillary Clinton may have lost you relationships. So why talk about it? Why be open with it? Well, it takes somebody like Candace Owens to motivate somebody like Kanye West to come out and speak about it and be open about it and potentially make people feel a little more comfortable with the thoughts that they have in their own mind about politics and the president. And again, folks, you don't have to like 100% of this president to approve of this president. I don't, and I do. And it's possible. It's actually encouraged. I would say that of any individual person. Tyrus is coming up next. I'm going to ask him about this and also the news of the day, the Manafort trial, and all of that. So make sure that you're stayed tuned for that. 314-241-9797. Phone calls after the Tyrus interview. We'll be right back.
Are you nearing retirement and wondering if you can afford to retire? Are you worried that you won't have enough income in retirement to live the same lifestyle as you are now? Are you also wondering how the stock market will affect your current retirement plans? This is Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group, and we'd like to show you the kind of income your retirement accounts can provide, whether you're retiring now or even in the next 5 years. Call me now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation financial review. We'll build your own personalized structured income plan that will show you exactly the type of retirement you can count on. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of my best-selling book, The Boomer's Guide to a Worry-Free Retirement. I've been helping retirees and pre-retirees achieve a worry-free retirement for 31 years. Call me now at 314-993-9494 or visit us online at retirementkey.com. Once again, that's 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com.
Commence Exxon and Mobil field test. Scientist observes subject B at station. Subject B earns Exxon and Mobil rewards plus points she can use to save on gas, coffee, car washes, and more. Subject B should share the wealth and buy me a coffee. Subject B looks like she's leaving. Subject B hasn't purchased me anything yet. Subject B has left. Conclusion, Exxon and Mobil Rewards Plus makes refueling rewarding, and Subject B owes me a coffee. Perhaps a donut.
Sign up today at ExxonMobilRewardsPlus.com. Terms and conditions apply. Available at participating Exxon or Mobil branded locations.
At Smoothie King, the journey to blend cleaner, more delicious smoothies never stops. Every ingredient is selected to help you feel good inside and out. They call it cleaner blending. And now they're blending with more whole veggies like kale, carrots, and whole organic spinach. If you want something healthy or indulgent, Smoothie King has the smoothie for you. Our $5 Friday is full of fruits and veggies and tastes good. Come have breakfast for $5, lunch for $5, dinner for $5. $5 Fridays for 32 ounces, only at Smoothie King. Smoothies with a purpose.
My name is Dale Pazinski. I'm 19 years old, and this is how I live united. I've always been kind of a computer geek, and I found a way to use those skills to help the homeless in my community. For people facing hard times, computer skills and a basic resume are so important. It may seem like a small thing, but it makes a huge difference in people's lives. So with United Way, I created a program where I work with the homeless. Together, we go through their whole job history, write a resume, and then save it on their very own USB drive. We provide workbooks and training certificates. I even budgeted for cupcakes so we can celebrate as a class when one of our people gets a job. That's huge. When somebody says, "Hey man, that job that you helped me apply for, I got it." That's what Living United feels like to me. My name is Dale Pazinski. I help people achieve financial independence. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
KFTK FM Florissant, KFTK AM East St. Louis, K254CR St. Louis.
Powered by thehomeloanexpert.com.
FM News Talk 97.1,
a radio.com station.
There was only one Aretha. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Tributes around the world for the preacher's daughter who became the Queen of Soul.
You make me feel like a natural woman.
Aretha Franklin died this morning after a long fight with pancreatic cancer. She was 76. President Trump paying tribute at the start of a cabinet meeting.
She was given a great gift from God, her voice, and she used it well. People loved Aretha. She's a special woman, so I just want to pass on my warmest best wishes and sympathies to her family.
A family statement calls Franklin the matriarch and rock of the family, adding that the love she had for her children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, and cousins knew no bounds. The president's cabinet meeting touching on a wide range of topics, including ongoing trade disputes. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
The president presiding over his monthly cabinet meeting and touting the strength of the U.S. economy.
It was going in the wrong direction when we came on board, and now it's doing better than ever before. We've created nearly 4 million new jobs since the election, which is an unthinkable number. Nobody would have said that was possible. It's going to go up very substantially from there.
The president also talking up his trade policy, saying the renegotiation of the NAFTA deal is going well and that the tariffs he's imposed on the European Union and China will ultimately lead to better trade deals for the U.S. Lisa?
Thanks, John. Hope for progress on trade talks is part of what's fueling a big rally on Wall Street today right now. The Dow is up 406 points. Jury deliberations continue at a federal courthouse in Virginia at the trial of former Trump campaign chair Paul Manafort. He denies any wrongdoing. He's charged with 18 counts in connection with past business dealings. Fox News, fair and balanced.
This is a test to find out if you know it all when it comes to children. Time starts now. Name one of the leading killers of U.S. children age 1 to 13. What's the best way to protect children in a car crash? At what age and size should a child start using a booster seat? Where can you find the answers to these questions?
Car crashes are one of the leading killers of U.S. children. Many of those deaths could be prevented by making sure that kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Don't assume you know it all when it comes to car seats for your child. Go to safercar.gov/the-right-seat and know for sure. That's safercar.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
97.1 News Time 103. Good afternoon. I'm Tony Colombo. A former Missouri State Trooper who was driving a boat when a handcuffed Iowa man fell out and drowned is suing to get his peace officer's license back. Anthony Piercy filed a lawsuit this week against the Missouri Department of Public Safety in an attempt to get a reversal of the decision that revoked his license. A St. Louis man is objecting to a finding that he is mentally unfit to stand trial in a shooting that paralyzed a suburban St. Louis police officer. Antonio Taylor made the objection in a motion filed yesterday through his public defender. A hearing is set for Friday on the finding that he's not competent. A jury in a Missouri state court in Jefferson City has awarded nearly $114 million for wages that the Missouri Department of Corrections had failed to pay 13,000 Missouri corrections officers. Following 6 years of litigation, the jury agreed the Department of Corrections had unlawfully refused to pay those employees for hundreds of thousands of hours worked since 2007. This news update brought to you by Chesterfield Fence and Deck. The sign you have the very best in fences, decks, patios, and sunrooms.
It's back. At Buffalo Wild Wings, we always look forward to Wing Tuesdays, because every Tuesday, when you purchase a traditional snack or small wing, you get one free and hand-spun in one of their 21 signature sauces or seasonings. Dine in or take out, restrictions apply. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
On the streets of Miami, speed is the law. So when a corn dog goes after the wrong girl...
Oh, heartburn!
One man will bring her Tums Ultra Strength. I'm on my way. Don't get wrecked by heartburn. Nothing works faster than Tums.
Your mustard's fast, but my Tums are faster.
And with Tums on-the-go rolls, it's never been easier to leave heartburn behind.
You did it.
Yeah. You gonna finish that corn dog?
Tums Ultra Strength, available in a store near you.
Good morning, my favorite daughter. Welcome to the Auto Hahn Ride Share. I'm your driver, Catherine Hahn. If you'd care for a beverage, just open the Stow and Go storage system and you'll find juice boxes and animal crackers.
Mom, not this again.
In-ride entertainment is available with the UConnect Theater. There's games, apps, and all my favorite movies already queued up.
Bored.
Here at Auto Hahn, safety is our top concern. That's why we only drive the Chrysler Pacifica. Here we are. I expect a 5-star review.
The Chrysler Pacifica. Up your van game. Chrysler is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
The only way you can take FM News Talk 97.1 with you is the radio.com app, available on your smartphone in the App Store. Download the radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
FM News Talk 97.1.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
And look, the simple point is all this comes down to this. We're not going to make America great again. It was never that great. We have not reached greatness. We will reach greatness when every American is fully engaged.
You're becoming like my most stable relationship.
Enough said.
Tyrus, we have an intro for you now.
I saw that.
I'm
sorry, I heard that.
Yeah, we're excited to have you on today. Did you hear Andrew Cuomo saying that America was never that great anyway?
Yeah, I think he was trying to be clever. He just fell short.
Yes, I would say he fell a little bit short. I mean, 'cause some people would say maybe it was a bit of a Freudian slip. He's trying to play off of Trump's Make America Great Again stuff. He's trying to make the point that what Donald Trump is doing here isn't actually amounting to what he is assuming it is. But what do you think about that? Do you think that the folks like Andrew Cuomo on the left have a negative view of America, what it is, and where it's come from?
I think they have a very negative view of Trump and all he stands for. And he was trying to make a point that until everybody's represented equally, we won't be a great country. But when you make a blazingly ridiculous statement to start it, once he said it, nobody was listening to anything he said after that. So
yeah,
I think they'd be better served just to stick to their message and quit trying to fight a fight they cannot. All Trump does is fight. They cannot win that fight. And they just hurt their own message by trying to be clever around his stuff.
Yeah, I think it's probably hard, at least for me, paying attention to this on a daily basis. It's kind of hard to figure out what the Democratic message is these days, don't you think?
Well, the message is simple. We don't like him.
Yeah.
We don't understand why people like him. Yeah. So it just goes with their disconnect. The American public is more like President Trump than it is like, they're PC take care of everybody attitude.
Yeah. I wonder if he wanted those words back as soon as they came out of his mouth, if that was like, wow, that's not going to play well. Or if he's like, at least I'll have the headlines. It's hard to tell what these folks, when they say stuff like that, when you're in a podium and you're kind of riffing a little bit, sometimes things come out that you don't intend to, but it's still, nonetheless, it didn't play too well.
Well, here's the thing. He's surrounding himself by people who are going to tell him he's in the good fight, and it's a great message, and makes you think. He kept it real. I'm sure that's what they're telling him. And maybe that message will resound. And me as a voter, if I was being asked to, I'd automatically want to know what his opponent was talking about, just based off that speech.
Yeah.
Because apparently he has all the answers too. That's another thing that they come off very self-righteous and all-knowing. And if they have all this great information, why are they not sharing it with us?
True. Yeah, I wanted to shift gears here real quick and talk about, there's this Rasmussen poll that came out. It shows that 49% of likely U.S. voters do approve of President Trump's job performance, and that 49% also disapprove. I think that's a huge win for this president. And then also, one of the things making headlines today is that 36% of black voters now approve of the president as well. That's up from 19%. That's a pretty significant increase as well. Do you think that that's due to some of the people in the black community coming out and speaking about their support, or do you think people are just being more comfortable admitting it when they're taking a poll?
Well, I'm not a big fan of polls anyways, just based off the last presidential election, the polls, if you listen to the polls, Hillary Clinton was going to be our president.
Yeah.
So, but I will say this, when the economy's good, regardless of race, color, or creed, you're going to be more positive because America is based off of work ethic. You got to go get what you want, and there's going to be roadblocks. There's going to be sexist. There's going to be racist. There's going to be sizist. There's going to be every individual is going to have things put in front of them. Just whether you can put your head down and go get it. And when the economy's good and jobs are good, most people, that's what they really care about. We don't really care about arguing over who spit on the sidewalk or who called who a name. We don't have time to care about those things. So if the economy was bad, I'm sure his numbers would be atrocious. But the economy is not bad. It's continuing to grow. And as long as the American people are able to have a fighting chance to improve their household, then he's going to have positive polls.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. Color has nothing to do with it. And the fact that they even separate black polls from Hispanic polls, it's American people. They just try to white people don't like you. That's not true.
Yeah.
We're not one being with one vote. We're all different. We all have different backgrounds. We have different families, different jobs, different levels of education. We think differently, just like white people. It's ridiculous.
What do you think when people say, if any campaign, Democrat, Republican, whatever it might be, when people see a black voter percentage or a Hispanic voter percentage, do you think that they look at the group as a whole, just like as one brain then? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and that's the problem, because you can be very different, and class has a lot to do with it. If you are African American coming from an extremely wealthy family, generations of wealth, you're probably going to be a conservative Republican and probably have those kind of views. And if you are coming from an upbringing where you grew up on, you were in the system, you were lower income, you're definitely going to have a different view on things. But you're both black, so you should think the same. It's ridiculous. It just doesn't even make sense. But that's the mainstream media for you.
Yeah.
They assume
pretty
that.
Offensive.
One of the things that when I first started getting into politics, or whatever, the big thing was Bill Clinton was the first black president. Because black people loved him or whatever. And I always was offended by that, because they're not one. It's not one brain. It's not one thinking. There is just as diverse. Our community is one of the most diverse communities, and our community is a little different because we live alongside. We coexist in the white community.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like there's Koreatown, there's Chinatown, there's all these different sets in different parts of the country, and we're right in the mix. So it cracks me up when they talk about it like that, like we are our own separate entity. We're not. We're intermingled with the general population.
Independent, free-thinking individuals. Yeah.
Yeah, and
I agree with you. I wanted to ask you about Omarosa and your.
Oh man,
I don't even really have a question specifically, but when I say Omarosa, what is your reaction?
Well, I don't know if you caught the 5 this week, but I had to apologize for some of my words on Omarosa. I'm just going to say this. She is a unifier in terms that she can bring Democrats and Republicans together to agree and probably have a meal of food. And if she's the top of the conversation, it'll just be comparing notes on how much they loathe her.
Yeah.
So in that sense, she's good for the country in terms of she unifies us, and we all realize that there are actually worse things on this world than having a different political party. It's the being that is Omarosa. She is the most despised thing in the free world as far as I'm concerned.
Does she have the ability to hurt Donald Trump at all, you think?
Yeah, unfortunately she does. She also has the ability to hurt African-American relations with people. She has the ability to hurt working relationships. I mean, if you think about, like, with all the recordings and all that kind of stuff, like, it almost makes you question sometimes when you're at work, hey, is somebody recording me? Like,
yeah.
The level of low that she represents is all, no one is better from being involved with Omarosa. That should say something.
Yeah.
And can she hurt the president? Yeah, because he trusted her, gave her a job she probably wasn't qualified for, kept her around, developed her. Like she was basically one of his. He was basically her mentor, so she was a lot closer than other people is. And I'm just going to say this: as far as the racist stuff goes, if it's proven that Donald Trump's a racist, then I'm obviously going to have super issues with that. But at the same time, if you're saying things in the privacy of your own home, I think it's a little different than opposed to like standing out bandstanding and saying things like that. So I just don't put a lot of traction in what she says. But at the same time, someone like her will go to any length to get the dirt on you. So she's someone you really need to, when you're on her bad side or her good side, you should be very concerned.
Tyrus, we've had a conversation on this show that kind of fell into this show from another one. We had a caller call in, and we were discussing this the other day, and it was said that if the tape does come up where the president uses that word that nobody needs to be using, if that would or would not end his presidency. Do you have a thought on that?
I don't think it will end his presidency. I think to impeach a president is extremely next to impossible.
Do you think it should?
I think it's definitely, he would not have my vote going into the next election for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, just sorry, bro. I can't condone that. And also it has to be with the concept, how it was said and what it was said to. And so at the same time, once he's using that means he's using it all the time. And he's obviously not somebody that I want to support. Should it affect his presidency now? No. It happened before he was elected. He's in now. And that goes back to Omarosa and supposedly being the voice and the watchdog for the African-American community, and she let that slide. So that's more a reflection on her. If he was able to con us and get into the White House and believe that he was, a businessman, he was an equal opportunity guy as far as like wanting to get success. And yeah, he's off the cuff, he's rash, he says the wrong thing, but that's who he is. I've accepted that. But if he pulled the wool over, my eyes, so to speak, in the American, and not just African Americans, just his base and stuff, no one's going to be excited about that. When the 2% of America that would be like, yeah, I'm fine with it. I think it's great. I wish he said it more. They don't matter anyways.
Right.
So, but yeah, impeaching him over some language I disagree with, but I would be would be voting against him come the next election.
And Tyrus, when we were discussing this the other day, the thing that concerns me is that I don't have evidence in front of me that tells me that this president is definitively a racist. And so putting that word into his mouth, so now we're talking about a tape that might exist somewhere. So now we're entertaining the thought that he is using this language. And to me, much like the Russian collusion story, the idea of it is valuable enough to the left to keep it healthy and keep it in the news cycle and keep talking about it. And, what is your reaction to that? Do you feel as though this president is somebody who is a racist, is a black man yourself?
I don't know him in terms of, like, I've never sat down with him. I know he's a rich old man from the 50s. He's going to say things, basically stereotypes, but I don't feel. I mean, one of his closest friends was Don King. So I just don't.
I just don't think we can default to he's probably racist, and then and then judge him on that.
This is also his own fault too, in the sense that he ran and he went after Hillary, and sometimes, whether it was true or not or alleged, he just went with it and he attacked it. And that type of politics or whatever, you're going to open yourself up to where speculation, and we live in a world now to where if somebody makes an accusation, it's pretty much like a bullet. You're never going to be the same after it hits you. And you don't necessarily need proof.
Yeah.
You just need enough people to say, well, maybe, and then you'll have a bunch of experts on CNN breaking down how they always knew he was, but yet they failed to share this revelation with us when he was running with 17 other guys for the presidency of the United States. So, like I said, if the tape comes out, impeaching, no. He was elected by the people. He has the right to finish his term. Come next election, I'm not voting Democrat, but I definitely would expect somebody from the Republican Party to run against him.
Yeah,
I would support that. I would support that individual. So I'm not jumping ship. I'm just saying I want a new captain from our team. If this guy, because he's going to be flawed anyways, and he'll probably not get reelected just based off that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. Well, Tyrus, I think it's a good insight on the issue, and I think it's fair too as well. You can find Tyrus on Twitter at Planet Tyrus. Thanks so much for coming on with us today. We look forward to talking to you next week.
Let's hope we can talk about something positive sometime soon. Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah,
I laugh and tell jokes. That'd be amazing.
Like pie. We talked about pie once. That's like the most positive thing we've ever discussed. Yeah,
I'm ODing on pie right now.
I'll have a happy story for you next week. Something.
Good luck with that.
I will work hard. Work very hard. All right. Thanks, Tyrus.
All right. Thank you.
Appreciate you. I think he was pumping iron and eating pie at the same time. That's what it sounds like.
He was at a crowded place for sure.
Yeah. I legit think he was working out. I
That's
really love his perspective, because he's somebody who would have come to politics, and specifically the Republican Party, from a very different position than I would. I can't say, you sitting in your car, I don't know where you come from. I don't even know if you like the Republican Party. You might be listening and thinking, like Jay called the other day, I disagree with everything you say. That's what he says to me first. And I'm like, that's okay. Thanks for listening. Yep. Yeah, I appreciate you listening. And the truth is that when I'm talking to people who call in here and who disagree with me, I like listening to those, because there is a chance that you will change my perspective on something. Maybe not necessarily my mind, but maybe you will. And I can openly listen to people who think differently. But especially when it comes to coming to the Republican Party, another call that we get so regularly on the show, and Tony, you're the one who kind of started it, was that conservative union member. We highlight these people who are strong, staunch union supporters that don't like the Democratic Party. And it's like, don't screw with my union, and you got me on the Republican side of the aisle. And the key there is that if Tyrus says something that is potentially critical of President Trump, it's good to know that perspective is out there. This tent that we're in, this Republican tent that we're in, needs to get bigger. And you can open that tent up and make it bigger without compromising yourself. You don't have to change anything about who you are and why you came to the Republican Party. But you can certainly look at somebody else in the tent and find out how they got there, because every path is different. And I think each one is important to understand, or at least try to listen to. Some phone calls when we come back, 314-241-9797. We got some people holding on the line. We got one line free, so give us a call, 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797. On Twitter at Annie Frey Show. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Hey guys, it's Glover. We have teamed up with Michael's Flooring Outlet to find DGS Superfans with a shout out from their favorite show. Get featured on our website and they'll receive a limited edition DGS Superfan t-shirt courtesy of Michael's Flooring Outlet. Get registered now at 971talk.com/super.
Beck Estate Planning and Elder Law. You know what they can do for you? They give you peace of mind, and that is something that is invaluable. How do they do that? Well, it comes with estate planning and elder law. Attorney Rudy Beck is a member of the Missouri Bar, the American Bar Association, the St. Charles Bar Association, and the National Academy of Elder Law Attorneys. Following his service as a first lieutenant in the United States Army, he began his private practice in St. Charles, and Mr. Beck is passionate about helping veterans and widows of veterans determine if they are eligible for special veteran benefits that they may have earned while serving their country. There are benefits that are out there that often can go overlooked when you're not talking to the right people who have the right information. He urges vets to inquire now and allow Beck Estate Planning and Elder Law to assess their personal situations before veteran regulations are revised. Beck Estate Planning and Elder Law will look at your family situation, your wants, your needs. If you have a special needs child, maybe there's a former spouse that's in the picture that you want to protect your assets, your estate from whatever it might be. You have in-laws, maybe some who are more like outlaws. The folks at Beck Estate Planning and Elder Law are going to make sure that they put you first. They're going to ask you the questions that you don't even know that you need to answer, and they will lift that weight off of your shoulder about not knowing what's going to happen in the future. And, God forbid your estate has to go to probate, where everything is out in the open and the public is able to access all of that private information. You don't want that. Beck Estate Planning and Elder Law, 636-946-7899, 636-946-7899, or online at beckelderlaw.com.
We are Kubota. This is what we do. We make precision engineered compact tractors, zero-turn mowers, and diesel utility vehicles. Visit GoKubota.com today for special financing offers or to find a Missouri Kubota dealer near you.
Summer means savage savings at Tactical in St. Peter's. Right now, get a free Ballistic Advantage barrel with any complete AR-15 upper build. Or get a free Hollow Sun optic with any complete AR upper and lower build. Tactical in St. Peter's.
A lot of nasal congestion, especially at night, facial pain, pressure.
Cynthia suffered for years with chronic sinus infections. She was fed up.
I was in my primary care physician's office and she was prescribing another course of antibiotics. And I think at that moment, I just thought, this is ridiculous. There has to be some other option.
She set an appointment with Dr. James Gould at the St. Louis Sinus Center. Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office called balloon sinuplasty.
I was home within a few hours and back to work the next morning. I could breathe so much easier, especially with activity and at night, being able to sleep a lot better. My energy level was increased, being a mom and being able to be more active with my little one. At least to me, that was the most important thing.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections? Set an appointment today with Dr. James Gould at the St. Louis Sinus Center. Call 314-449-8761. 449-8761. That's 449-8761.
If you're retiring in the next 5 years, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with Stifel and host of On the Money, heard every Saturday from 11 till noon on FM News Talk 97.1. Retirement is a huge step, and when it comes to investing your retirement assets, you can't afford to make mistakes. It's vitally important that you work with an experienced professional to guide you through important retirement decisions. If you're retiring soon, we should meet to develop a clear plan for your retirement goals. Your meeting is an opportunity to understand your retirement situation and discuss how you can proceed. Of course, your consultation is free of charge and requires no obligation on your part. If you're retiring in the next 5 years, now is the time to start planning. To schedule your free retirement plan review, visit bobstockdale.com or call me at 636-448-7655. That's bobstockdale.com or 636-448-7655. Stifel, member FINRA, SIPC, and NYSE.
Lincoln Power Sports is your place to find all your power sports needs. ATVs, motorcycles, side-by-sides, and so much more. Number one in customer service, price savings, and never any out-the-door fees. Suzuki, Arctic Cat, Textron Off-Road, Kimco, Hustler, Echo, and Shindoa Power Products. Highly trained service and parts department. Oil and tire changes while you wait. hassle-free sales and service. Lincoln Power Sports, located in Moscow Mills. Visit them online at lincolnpowersports.com.
Congratulations to Michael Lamont of Imperial, Missouri, winner of the $1,000 political payoff.
That was huge. Wow.
Listen for the keyword weekdays around 40 after the hour from 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. for your chance to text in and win $1,000.
God bless America.
Prizes awarded each hour to one winner from all national entries. Message and data rates apply.
Frey Show. Find the podcast on demand and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Much for the man, and so he's leaving the life that he's come to know. Oh, he said he's going back.
I think every Aretha Franklin song probably takes 3 times as long to get through. Woo! Because every word requires all the notes.
Yes, everyone. Hit them, baby.
And she hits all the notes.
This is, I feel like, the first pop song that I've heard her sing in it.
Yeah. Georgia!
It's very poppy for Aretha.
Yeah. That's one, like, on one of her later albums that I discovered this morning.
It's great.
You do that, Aretha.
Yes.
You do your thing.
Own it.
So if you didn't hear, which I'm sure you've probably heard 100 times by now, but I'm going to tell you anyway, Aretha Franklin passed away at 76 today, surrounded by her friends and family, and sounds like they were prepared for it, and if you're going to go, that's the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
And she lived and has a lot to be proud of. So
boy, did she live.
We've been
great life.
Yeah, we were talking with Tyrus in the segment before and talking about that the Rasmussen poll that came out that said that they kind of, I looked up this article here, and all anyone was talking about is that black voter approval of Trump is at 36%, and 1 year ago it was at 19%, which is a significant increase. Mm-hmm. So, there's a lot of implications there, but also the fact that this poll shows that 49% of likely U.S. voters approve of President Trump's job performance, and that 49% also disapprove. So that being in a dead heat, boy, is there anything more indicative of this country right now than that poll? I certainly do believe that poll that half of us, there's 2% of you out there who are like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
You're paying zero attention
to it, yeah.
But I mean, even the folks, I don't want to make too much of an umbrella statement here, but I feel like the less likely you are to be paying attention to the details of the day-to-day, the more likely you are to kind of go into the non-Trump fan.
Yes.
zone.
Oh, yeah.
If you could be very invested in the news cycle and still very anti-Trump. I'm not saying that only people who aren't paying attention like Trump, and anyone who's paying attention obviously loves this president. No, that's not what I'm saying.
But if you glimpse at a headline and that's what you're seeing constantly, you're more likely not to like Trump.
So if you're somebody who isn't paying attention and you're only getting things in a drive-by fashion, chances are you do lean a little bit towards the or maybe a lot towards the anti-Trump side of the aisle. 314-241-9797 if you want to weigh in. We would love to talk to you. Phil, thanks for calling the show.
Yeah. Hey, I'm trying to figure out, why nobody is putting the real facts together here about this Omarosa thing and this ridiculous claim about Trump being a racist. I mean, for 15 years, he's taken this woman who has zero credibility, zero skill set, and mentored her, gave her a job in the White House.
Yeah.
I mean, that really sounds pretty white supremacist to me. Gave her a job that didn't even exist. And now who's the one who is turned on him and giving her everything that she's got? It's ridiculous. This narrative that continues to be facilitated is just out of control. The left has thrown around this race card so much that it has zero meaning anymore.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. If you can't say the N-word because you're white, but how many people have sat here and sang an NWA song, and you're going to tell me that when that word came up that you didn't say it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. There shouldn't be, I don't know who the word police are, but it's a word. You know what? If you didn't want anybody to say it, then you shouldn't have put it in your song and had it say in there 87 times in one song.
There's a lot of words in a lot of songs that nobody should say.
And that may be the case, but the fact of the matter is they're getting paid a lot of money, and they sold a lot of records, and 90% of the people that buy those CDs, like back in the day, were white kids in suburban white areas.
Yeah.
But it's not okay to sing the song. That's a double negative, and it absolutely shows the hypocrisy of that.
Yeah. Phil, thanks for calling the show. I appreciate you weighing in. I struggle with that, and I almost feel like I don't even have, I don't know. Tony, I'm going to you since you just walked back in. You're a huge hip-hop fan, right?
Yeah.
Huge rap music. Rap, hip-hop, different, same, like one more than the other?
You can use the words. You can interchange the words, yes.
But you're a fan. You like the music. The word is in the music.
A lot.
Yeah. That doesn't make it okay for anybody to use, in my opinion. I don't think it's okay for them to use it. I also don't get to tell them what to do. But how do you reconcile that? Do you have the answer?
What are the answers?
But you're looking at me like I don't know why you think that I have something to say about this.
One of my friends, Perry Woods, who has been on the Dave Glover Show and other shows on this station.
He's black.
Yeah, he's black. He's a local musician. He's the bumper music that we use on the Weekend Report on Saturdays. Him and I have been friends for 20 years. One of my closest best friends. And he has always joked that, like, if it's in the song and you're singing the song, it's okay. But I would never do that in front of. I would never do that. But he has said that to me before. When we've been in this discussion about this word. No. If I'm alone and you're kind of singing along, maybe it slips out. But if you would ever. I would never, in front of anyone, not saying I would never do it even in that fashion in front of black. I would never do it in front of anybody, any person.
Because it's an offensive word.
And I would never play one of those songs that has that word prominently featured in front of my kids, or be blaring it with the windows down that other people can hear. I
don't want to be associated with it. It's an offensive word.
Exactly.
I know that caller was just saying it's a word. It's not just a word. It makes people upset.
Yeah. People have said, like, well, they've tried to compare other slurs or insults or
none
words.
Of the same.
There's none. There is no word that compares to that. There's no comparison that can be drawn anywhere ever. That word unequivocally is at the top of what you cannot say.
All right, let's listen to what John has to say here real quick. John, thanks for calling.
You're welcome, Annie. I think with that word, the context, how it's used, has a lot of weight.
Not really. I mean, yes.
You don't think so?
I think
use it in the rap.
Well, no, I think what I'll say to that, John, is I think it's always a really awful, horrendous word to use. But I think maybe there's a really awfuler, horrendouser, more terrible way to use it. But I think that there isn't a way to justify it, right?
Well, it depends on who you ask. It's obvious if you ask the rappers, it's justified.
But even if they're justifying it, there's a qualification there that.
What's that qualification?
They're rappers. They're rappers. I don't know. Does Eminem use the word?
There are white.
I don't know.
White rappers that have used the word. Yes, there are white rappers that have used the word in their songs. Yes.
So they're using it in that context as a rapper, not because they're a rapper. It's because they are rapping.
But
I think it's a bad idea.
John, what you and I have to decide here is culturally speaking, in our circles, what's right and what's wrong. And just because someone does choose to do it in a music community, whether they're black or white when they're saying it, it still is not something that is, in my circle, ever going to be something I'm ever going to utter. It's not even like, it's not like I have to ever even think to myself, ooh, I almost said that and I should change. Like, that doesn't exist. It's not. We've done a really good job as a society is pushing that word where it belongs, which is far, far away.
Can I ask you a question
yes,
about that
just
word?
Respect the FCC.
Have you ever heard that word used against somebody other than a black person?
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
So have I. As a matter of fact, in my circle, that word is used for any person that fits a certain qualification, and it has nothing to do with color.
But it's still, but the origin of it is still what you need to respect when you don't use it. Right?
I understand that. I'm just saying you were wrestling with the word itself, and my opinion on it is a lot of it has to do with the context that's being used.
Yeah, I just can't think of a context where it's acceptable.
Well, no, it's not acceptable, but they're busting Trump's butt for him maybe saying it or maybe not. Maybe if Trump put it in a rap song, maybe they wouldn't bust his butt.
Well,
so
if
much.
he did, we're going to hear that song.
Yes.
that will be.
Thanks, Danny.
That'll
If he did,
be
we would have already heard the song.
Yeah, we've already heard.
Thank you, John. I appreciate you calling in.
Nobody can ever change that word is inexcusable.
Yes.
Off limits.
Don't go there.
There's no point in having the conversation. You can't use it. It's a horrible word that you can't use.
314-241-9797. One line open right now. Hold on. We'll get to you guys as soon as we come back. We'll keep talking about this. And also later on in the show, we're going to get an update on that compound where those children were being taught to be school shooters in New Mexico. It's crazy. We'll talk to Robin Simcox, who's with Heritage Foundation, later on in the show. But your phone calls coming up next.
Prove too much for the man.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
And so he's leaving.
Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
He said he's going back.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather.
The official FM News Talk 97.1 Weather Center forecast. Times of clouds and sunshine today. Very warm and humid with a high of 89. Partly to mostly cloudy, warm and muggy tonight with a shower or thunderstorm, low 73. For tomorrow, variable cloudiness. It'll be humid with a shower and thunderstorm in the area, high 85. Then for Saturday, partly sunny, very warm and humid with a high in the upper 80s to near 90. I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg for FM News Talk 97.1.
The $1,000 political payoff.
This hour's keyword is deli. Want to go? You want to use it? Here's my sentence.
Use your sentence.
Yeah, you.
I will always say yes if you invite me to go to lunch at a deli.
Remember that one time Mark Close offered you a deli sandwich?
I do.
And then you owed him money. Anyway,
then,
deli.
Yeah,
I do.
He gave me the sandwich, and then 2 weeks later said I owed him money for it. I have not forgotten that. Text the word deli, D-E-L-I, to 72881 by the end of the hour for your chance to win your $1,000 political payoff. That's deli to 72881. Message and data rates apply. This is a national contest. Don't text and drive.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show, live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. A portion of every HVAC installation goes to Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up today at gslhonorflight.org. And for free HVAC estimates, visit aircomfortservice.com.
You know, your skin is your first impression that you give off to people. Even before you open your mouth or smile, people are going to notice your skin. And whether it's healthy looking or maybe if it's a little tired looking. If you're like me, I'm a mother, I'm a working mother. I've got a lot going on. And sometimes my skin can be what shows that stress, that anxiety, and that lack of sleep. You need one of those comforting, just wonderfully relaxing facials at St. Louis Skin Solutions. Dr. Amy Miller and her staff of very experienced, very kind, very accommodating folks at St. Louis Skin, they are so prepared to take whatever your situation is and give you the best possible customer service and best possible product or service that you need. The thing about skincare is that there is a huge spectrum of the type of service that you can get when you go into St. Louis Skin. There can be non-invasive. There can be things that maybe require a little bit more downtime, but it all depends on what you're going for, what kind of service you need. St. Louis Skin Solutions offers all of these services that are on the spectrum. I did the dermal infusion. It made my skin feel so fresh, so like new. It was just so nice to walk out of there and just be able to touch the back of my hand to my face and feel it soft and fresh and clean. They can do that for you as well. If you go into St. Louis Skin Solutions and tell them that you heard about them on the Andy Frey Show, you'll get a free hand peel or an LED light treatment, which I also did. During your initial consultation, they have light chemical peels, they have microneedling, they have dermal fillers. If you're looking for something simple or something a little bit more invasive, take care of the skin that you're in and visit St. Louis Skin Solutions and Dr. Amy Miller online at stlouisskin.com.
Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Law Office of Lance Drury here in St. Louis. I'm sure you've seen or heard ads where people owed the IRS thousands of dollars and their tax bills were miraculously reduced to nothing. I'm here to tell you the same companies that run those ads are the ones that routinely force clients to call me when they don't resolve their IRS problems and stop returning calls. Look, the IRS doesn't make it easy to resolve a case. So don't waste precious time and money. Contact me, Lance Drury, today. I'm a local tax attorney and I've helped hundreds resolve their IRS problems quickly and cost efficiently. Schedule a free confidential appointment and let's take control of your situation and protect your legal rights. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. You need an experienced tax attorney. You need me, Lance Drury. Call 314-260-6120 or toll free 888-367-6512 or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Stop. You're going to waste your money. Look, you're sitting there listening to Fox News Radio. You're smarter than that. You are about to have your home painted with regular paint. That's like buying a VCR. They're both just outdated. There is an exterior coating that comes with a 25-year warranty. You have it done once, and that's it. Never again. Your home looks perfect for the rest of your life. I mean, that's why you're putting off painting your home, right? You know it's just going to start chipping and peeling in a few years. So why do that? If you are about to paint your home with any product, stop and find out if Rhino Shield ceramic coating is right for you. Rhino Shield, it's not paint. You'd be crazy not to get a free estimate. Call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or visit 877-25rhino.com.
Are you a baby boomer with questions or concerns regarding your retirement plan? How about the future of U.S. tax rates and trends? Does your investment portfolio fully support your income needs? Heisey Advisory Group can help you answer these questions. Register for one of our no-cost retirement classes on Thursday, August 23rd or Tuesday, August 28th from 6 p.m. to 8:30. We will be covering 3 essentials: income planning, investment planning, and tax-efficient strategies. So call now to register at 314-909-1116. If you're 100% sure you have your retirement plan in place and can live well, this course is not for you. But if you've even had the slightest doubt regarding your retirement, call now. Seating is limited. Call and register at 314-909-1116. That's 314-909-1116.
The Mark Cox Morning Show.
Friday, a Colorado baker being challenged over religious liberty. We'll talk to Hans von Spakovsky. Plus, a school safety plan developed here in St. Louis to help first responders.
On FM News Talk 97.1.
The only way you can take FM News Talk 97.1 with you is the radio.com app. Available on your smartphone in the App Store. Download the radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
FM News Talk 97.1. Show.
Where do they all belong? Father Mackenzie, like no words to a sermon that no one will hear. No one comes near.
Look, I'm not going to deny for a second that some of those supporters are racist, sexist, homophobes, xenophobes. That's true. I don't believe that is the majority. I've been all over Trump country. And I think what Trump was able to do is pick up on the failures of the Democratic Party that did not talk about the fact that hardworking, decent people saw their jobs going to Mexico or China, or people cannot afford to send their kids to college or afford childcare or afford housing that they desperately need. So I think the future of the Democratic Party has got to be to focus on the needs of working families, to demand that we have a government that represents all of us. You talk to Republicans and ask them how they feel about Citizens United. Do they think it's a good idea that billionaires like the Koch brothers can literally buy elections, spending hundreds of millions of dollars? They don't.
It's like every time they say Koch brothers, somebody needs to like run onto the scene and be like, George Soros. And then every time someone says George Soros on the other side, you come in and you go, Koch brothers. They kind of cancel each other out.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, that's not even really fair to the Koch brothers. The underhanded things that take place with people who have boatloads of money in politics, good grief. Tony, we have a Facebook question that was sent to us, and I'm supposed to ask you this.
Oh, boy.
Quentin Tarantino.
Mm-hmm.
Django Unchained made massive headlines for this. The storyline was a racial storyline. There was a slave owner who was played by Leonardo DiCaprio. The slave was played by him. What's his name? He's great.
Samuel L. Jackson?
No, he was the other guy.
I don't know. I never saw that movie.
No, he's in
Jamie
everything.
Foxx.
Yes,
Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx.
Fantastic.
Yeah. That's it.
And the word was used.
Isn't Samuel L. Jackson's in that movie
yes,
too, right?
He is.
Okay.
Yes, he is. But that's the person who wrote us, Matthew wrote us, and his saying, it's Quentin Tarantino's movie.
Mm-hmm.
He's a white dude.
Mm-hmm.
Making a movie about a white slave owner, using that word excessively, they're interested in what you think about that.
That is for the people to decide. You make a movie like that, and you could be risking public outcry, people not seeing your movie, losing a bunch of money, maybe not getting hired to make. So Quentin Tarantino obviously knows what he's doing. I don't think that movie was a flop. I don't remember it being
I saw
anything wrong with it.
It was, really successful.
Like as far as box office is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
So free market decides if that type of movie is acceptable or not.
Yeah. It's just
I'm telling you,
I think
everybody out there,
don't do it.
That it's
not wise.
My advice is that's a terrible word and you should never use it.
And the truth about that movie was it was a depiction of a point in time that was very unflattering.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that if you didn't use it, if you make a movie like that and you don't use it, you're kind of whitewashing
what truly happened.
A historical thing. And if I would be really offended if I were on the other side of that aisle to be like, it was way worse than that. Are you kidding me? Like, this is so. And
you want that person to look as bad as possible.
And the stories that came out of the making of that film were Leonardo DiCaprio going, I can't do this. Like, I'm saying to Jamie Foxx in the process, like, I am so sorry because of the dialogue that he had to participate in. I get to some phone calls here, 314-241-9797. Let's see here. David, you've been holding for a while. You were wanting to talk about the unions. Thanks for calling the show.
Yes, I did. Thank you for taking my call, Annie.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate you guys actually having the brains and the common sense to understand what that word means to people, what it means to Black America.
Well, and I'm going to interject here real quick, David. I think that at least where I'm coming from, and I assume where Tony is coming from and Katie is we can't understand, and our respect for never putting that word in our vernacular is because we can never know what that actually sounds like to a Black American. And hands off.
I hear you saying that, and I respect you guys for even having the common sense, like I said, to even get that. The last callers seemed a little confused. Seemed that they didn't even understand how hurtful that word can be. Using that to someone who is black. Myself, my mother's white, my father's black. So,
do you
yourself,
think that
what would you call me?
I would call you an American, I would assume. I mean, I don't know that I would quickly work to label you. Do you think
that's the thing? I appreciate that, and that you're talking with common sense. I'm an American.
Yeah,
we're all Americans.
Because the truth is that I'm Australian and German, and that's the same. I'm an Australian American, maybe, I guess. My grandma came from Australia. She actually got on a boat and came over here. The African American thing, obviously, if your skin is a different color, it's harder to determine the heritage. But at the end of the day, I don't ever identify myself as Australian American or German American. That doesn't even occur to me to think that way. And I feel it's valuable to not look at other people and try to assign those types of things to other people, because it doesn't necessarily mean anything in the context of you and me talking here.
That is correct. It actually does mean something. It means a lot because, like you were talking about the movie Django Unchained,
yeah,
and they use that's the arts. The last callers were talking about rap music, quote, rap music, hip hop. Those are the arts, and that's why we have First Amendment freedom of speech to express ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
But yes, my mother's side is literally 100% German. My father's side is black. I can't trace the lineage back, and that's something that's hurtful to me.
Yeah.
To all people, that we can't even track that history back, because the history ends once they were chained and taken to different places and enslaved for hundreds of years. It's just history.
Mm-hmm.
It's American history. And everyone needs to understand that being black or white or Chinese, Asian, whatever you call yourself, we're all Americans.
Mm-hmm.
We're all equal. And I don't understand why people are still even why they don't get that. What's the hard part to get about this?
Well, I think that there are people who are investing in creating division from time to time, and it's not even just in politics.
I'm glad you said that, Annie, because that's why I called. I
got to get to a hard break here, so about 20 seconds. Go ahead.
Okay. I am a union member. When I went to vote for in the primaries, Proposition A was a huge thing, and we defeated that. And Missouri voters spoke up. We don't want that. That's done.
Yeah.
We don't want that ever to come back. On top of that, we want to make sure, besides being a union member, the divisiveness of being a liberal or conservative is just divisive. Because if I want to vote for a Republican or if I want to vote for a Democrat, I should be able to mix my
because you're going to think. Because you're going to think for yourself. Because
exactly, I want to vote for who I want to. You can't force me.
Nobody
to
owns
vote
you
for one side or the other side.
Yeah,
and that's the major point. And I hope you keep explaining this to people that we are all Americans, no matter what color you are.
Yeah,
no matter what creed you are. We're all Americans, and that's where it ends.
David couldn't have said it better myself. Together. Thank you so much for calling the show. Thanks for listening, too. I appreciate that. And I think you're right. It's what Tyra said. You're not like one big black brain out there thinking. We're not one big female brain out here thinking. We are individual, free-thinking humans. And sometimes we vote one way, sometimes we vote the other. But the important thing is free thinking. At Annie Frey Show on Twitter, 314-241-9797, Heritage Foundation on that New Mexico compound coming up next.
If you're in debt, get out of debt. If you need cash, get Smart Cash.
Smart Cash is the low-interest equity that's sitting in your home. This is James Hawkins of Golden Oak Lending. In today's climate of low mortgage rates and increased home prices, Now's the time to get low-interest money.
We're fast, we're local, and our low rate today is 3.5% fixed.
At Golden Oak Lending, we're not just a mortgage company on the internet. We're here in town, and we give you choices. Debt consolidation to pay credit cards, cash out for purchases, free pre-approval, even a renovation mortgage that gives you money on your home's future value.
Call Golden Oak Lending. If we can't close your loan, the appraisal is no charge. 314-567-GOLD. 567-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
15-year fixed, 4.634 APR, 10% equity with approved credit. NMLS 114937, 111 Westport Plaza, St. Louis, Missouri.
Kennelwood Pet Resorts are such a fantastic place to take your pet. And the reason why is because you can feel comfortable when you drop your pet off and you leave. You know that they're in great hands. I've been doing that with my pet, Rosie. She's an 18-month-old Australian Shepherd, and they have transformed Rosie into the dog that we always hoped that she could be. We got her when she was 10 weeks old, and she's a puppy. She'd run around the house. She would just have all of this energy, and it was just all over the place. Kennelwood has given us a puppy that now sits where she's supposed to sit when she's supposed to sit there. And we tell her when she gets up. We tell her to be free when it's time for her to be off of her climb and she can be in the house with the kids. And so she will stay there while we eat dinner. She will stay there while we put the kids to sleep. The training is fantastic at Kennelwoods. I highly recommend doing a board and train. Give them a call about that. 314-429-2100, 314-429-2100, or online at kennelwood.com.
KFTK FM Florissant, KFTK AM East St. Louis, K254CR St. Louis.
Powered by thehomeloanexpert.com.
FM News Talk 97.1,
a radio.com station.
Wall Street's optimistic. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. An hour to the close. The Dow's up 424, partly on hope for progress in trade disputes, though the president's still taking a hard line on China.
They are just not able to give us a deal that's acceptable. So we're not going to do any deal until we get one that's fair to our country.
Meantime, some critics in Congress taking a hard line on his Supreme Court nominee. Fox's Jared Halpern, live on the Hill.
The Senate Democrats complain Republicans are holding back thousands of documents about Brett Kavanaugh's time in George W. Bush's administration. So Minority Leader Chuck Schumer is giving the National Archives 20 days to comply with a Freedom of Information Act request or be sued.
The American people deserve a methodical and thorough examination of a nominee to the Supreme Court who will yield immense influence on their lives.
Schumer also says he'll press Kavanaugh about transparency. When the two meet next week, Republicans are releasing documents about Kavanaugh's time in the White House counsel's office, but say other records are irrelevant to his judicial thinking. Lisa.
Thanks, Jared. Widespread mourning for Aretha Franklin. She died this morning after battling pancreatic cancer for years. Fox's Kristen Goodwin has reaction live.
Well, tributes pouring in for Aretha Franklin. Elton John calling the loss a blow for everybody who loves real music. The whole world, he says, will miss her, but will always rejoice in her remarkable legacy. The Queen is dead. Long live the Queen. Bette Midler tweeting the greatest voice in American popular music, adding, for me, she was a musical lighthouse, guiding and inspiring with every note. President Trump, former Presidents Obama and Bill Clinton, all mourning the loss on Twitter. Dictionary.com tweeting a subtle shout out to the singer, spelling out the word respect. Aretha Franklin was 76 years old.
Thanks, Lisa. Kristen. Fair and balanced.
We first opened about 10 years ago. We were small, just a few of us, but it was exciting. I always dreamt of having my own business. It was kind of slow at first, but things started picking up. We had big plans. But in our wildest dreams, we never thought we'd have this much work. Yeah, with so many businesses caught off guard by the storm, Reed Waste Management has never been busier.
What will become of your business after a disaster? Nearly 2/3 of businesses aren't prepared for an emergency, and 40% of businesses that experience a disaster never recover. Make an emergency plan now, before it's too late. For a free online tool that helps you develop an emergency plan to keep your business up and running should disaster strike, visit ready.gov/business. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the American Red Cross, and the Ad Council.
97.1 News Time 2:03. Good afternoon. I'm Tony Colombo. Missouri Attorney General Josh Hawley filed suit today against the St. Louis Housing Authority over conditions at a low-income housing complex, alleging problems that include rodent and pest infestations, mold, and structural failures. The lawsuit cites concerns at the Clinton Peabody housing complex. A Missouri candidate who recently won the Republican primary for state auditor is now facing questions about if she's lived in the state long enough to be eligible to run. The state constitution outlines that an auditor must have been a Missouri resident for 10 years at the time of election. But Sandra McDowell, an attorney living in Jefferson City, didn't move to Missouri until 2010. A St. Louis man is objecting to a finding that he is mentally unfit to stand trial in a shooting that paralyzed a suburban St. Louis police officer. Antonio Taylor made the objection in a motion filed yesterday through his public defender. The hearing is set for Friday on the finding that he's not competent. This news update brought to you by Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best in fences, decks, patios, and sunrooms.
It's back. At Buffalo Wild Wings, we're always looking forward to Wing Thursdays because every Thursday, when you purchase a boneless wing, you get one free on any size order and hand spun in one of their 21 signature sauces or seasonings. Dine in or take out, restrictions apply. Buffalo Wild Wings, wings, beer, sports.
Are you nearing retirement and wondering if you can afford to retire? Are you worried that you won't have enough income in retirement to live the same lifestyle as you are now? Are you also wondering how the stock market will affect your current retirement plans? This is Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group, and we'd like to show you the kind of income your retirement accounts can provide, whether you're retiring now or even in the next 5 years. Call me now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation financial review. We'll build your own personalized, structured income plan that will show you exactly the type of retirement you can count on. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of my best-selling book, The Boomer's Guide to a Worry-Free Retirement. I've been helping retirees and pre-retirees achieve a worry-free retirement for 31 years. Call me now at 314-993-9494 or visit us online at retirementkey.com. Once again, that's 314-993-9494 or online at retirementkey.com.
From early mornings to late nights, your neighbors are busy creating a better tomorrow. And at Ameren, Illinois, we are accelerating progress. From new natural gas lines in Godfrey to smart technology in Collinsville. Learn more at amerenillinois.com/metroeast. Ameren, Illinois. Energy at work.
I'm Jim Evinger with Renew Sleep Solutions. I'm on the phone with JB. Describe your sleep before coming in.
It's scary. When you wake up in the middle of the night, gasping for air, kind of get scared to go back to sleep.
How are you sleeping now?
I have a peace of mind when I go to bed, and also reduce my snoring. My wife happy with that as well.
Are you ready to stop snoring and treat your sleep apnea? Call 314-279-9000. That's 314-279-9000. Or go to renewsleep.com to learn more.
When the kettle whistles like that, it means it's, done.
Oh, right.
You've got that 1,000-yard stare. At 1 in the morning, what gives?
It's Medicare. I need to pick a plan.
I get it. You used to have an HR person for this sort of stuff.
Exactly. And now...
You're the HR person.
I don't want to be the HR person.
You don't have to be if you pick Anthem Medicare. With their shopping tool, you just answer 8 simple questions to find a plan that's best for you.
Are they actually simple?
Yeah, no PhD necessary.
Sounds good.
Now, what are we drinking? A little passion flower action, what?
Whatever my wife buys.
Not a tea guy. Got it? Go to bed.
For all the things that keep you up at night, Anthem Medicare has a solution, like their simplified online Medicare shopping tool. 8 simple questions to find a plan that's best for you. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Rest easy. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Right Choice Managed Care, Inc., Healthy Alliance Life Insurance Company, and HMO Missouri, Inc. Anthem is a Medicare Advantage and prescription drug plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Anthem depends on contract renewal.
Hey, home buyer. This is Tammy with Tammy Mitchell Hines & Company Real Estate in the Metro East. Let's face it, life is busy. Who has hours to sift through homes on the internet? Leave that to us. We are your personal real estate experts. We can let you know as soon as a home hits the market that would be perfect for you. I've been selling homes for over 22 years, and helping buyers find the perfect home is so exciting. Let us help you move today. Go to calltammy.com. That's calltammy.com.
Summertime is the best time for adventure. Time to set the standard, blaze the trail, and go above and beyond. Because nothing beats the luxury and capability of a Land Rover, capable of taking you on a summer adventure you'll never forget. Right now at Land Rover St. Louis, save $19,000 off MSRP on a new 2016 Land Rover Range Rover Sport Supercharged V8. Your summer adventure awaits at Land Rover St. Louis, a Plaza Motor Company on Olive Boulevard in Creve Coeur and online at LandRoverSt.Louis.com. MSRP $90,716.
The only way you can take FM News Talk 97.1 with you is the radio.com app, available on your smartphone in the App Store. Download the radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
FM News Talk 97.1.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
I think that there is growing resentment, not only among young people, who in many cases are going to have a lower standard of living than their parents. I think that there is an understanding there is something fundamentally immoral and wrong about a nation in which we have three people who own more wealth than the bottom half of the American people.
Bernie Sanders weighing in there, talking about fundamentally immoral and wrong nation that we are. And I would say that there are some things that are certainly immoral about our nation and the things that we've culturally decided to accept and embrace. But, you know, the thing about Bernie Sanders is that I feel like Bernie is one of the most, brace yourselves, people. Bernie is one of the most honest politicians in Washington, D.C. Quite possibly why the DNC so aggressively went against him. But you know where Bernie Sanders stands, and he doesn't really play the political game like the rest of the folks do. You know, he says he's the kind of the pioneer in socialist tendencies in today's political landscape. And you say, well, how are you going to pay for it? And he's gone on record to be like, well, obviously taxes are going to pay for it. It's going to be really expensive, but the highest earning people are going to pay for it. So
And rich people. Taxes and rich people.
Yeah. But I mean, when the president is, or when Bernie Sanders is speaking, you have a very clear understanding of what he thinks, and you don't get the idea that it's part of some like puppeteering game where there are people who are in closed door meetings before they come talk to you, the peon in the middle of the country, to try to feed you things that you want to hear. I think Bernie Sanders absolutely honestly believes that free healthcare is the best way to go. I don't think...
Thank you, Annie.
Yeah, you're welcome. I think Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is an opportunist who probably looks at free this, free that, and says, well, that sounds good. Let's go with that. Like, I don't think that she's really put the time and effort and understands the massive sacrifice that would have to be made in order to change this country from what it is now to what she's proposing it would be.
I think she's still shocked that she's here. Like, I think that she's still like, I can't believe this. I can't believe I won.
They voted for me. Well, you know, it just goes to show you how out of touch and not, I mean, out of like human contact touch politicians today are. I mean, ask yourself, when was the last time you met somebody who represents you in office somewhere, any kind? Your mayor, your alderman, your councilman,
anything.
Your state representative. Can you even name them? You know, do you even know who your state representative is?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to do. So she went out and she put her face in front of other people's faces. Mm-hmm. And she told them that they were going to get free stuff. And they're like, yeah, okay, I'll show up.
Sure, why not?
I'm down.
I'll vote for you.
Yeah. You know, we've been talking a bit about this story out of New Mexico. It's a really shocking story. And I wanted to get an expert on here, Robin Simcox, with the Heritage Foundation. Thank you so much for coming on today and talking to us. And can you kind of set the table for us? This story seems like it's not being covered as nationally as I anticipated that it would be. But there are a lot of red flags coming out of this compound in New Mexico where these children were apparently being trained to become school shooters.
Great to be with you. Yeah, very disturbing story with still some unanswered questions, I think, on it. But you lay out the basic facts. This compound in New Mexico where there were 11 children under the being looked after by, I think, 5 adults, one of whom was a man called Siraj Wahaj, who the suggestion is he took his son there because he felt as if his son needed an exorcism, and his son subsequently died there. So that's one aspect to it. Then you also have this other aspect where the children who have since discovered living in squalor in this compound have been given to foster parents, and one of the children subsequently made a comment to that foster parent that they were being trained with firearms to carry out school shootings, kind of with a extreme Islamist belief as the underpinning for the reason behind that. At the moment, the charges that have been filed in court revolve around child abuse. So the terrorism charges haven't been fleshed out yet. So we kind of need to wait and see, really, to see whether to see how much substance there is to that.
So, from what I understand, the judge released these adults earlier this week. Is that correct?
Yes, released on bail.
So what does that actually mean? Like, where are these people, and how are we keeping track of them, and what kind of access do others have to them right now?
Well, I think that, there's not complete clarity on this, but at the moment my understanding is that not all of them have left prison for reasons that haven't become entirely clear to me yet. But I'm sure the state, it was obviously it was to the extent that this story has been covered, there was controversy over the fact that they had been given bail and that they were allowed to be released because of obviously the kind of homeland security implications around the events that have taken place in New Mexico. So I have great confidence that they will be being carefully watched by the local authorities. It's a very kind of beguiling case in many ways because what we know or what has been suggested about what is taking place there doesn't entirely reflect. For example, you'd expect terrorism charges to be brought if this was a serious national security case, but they haven't been yet. So I still feel as if there's more to come out yet about what's happened, and that will probably only become clear maybe either when the trial begins or possibly in the days and weeks ahead.
It's very troubling to understand, just the evidence of what has been found in this compound, but ultimately the focus on these 11 children and the use that these adults found with these 11 children. It does look familiar when you look at how terrorism has evolved over in the Middle East, where the usage of children and this training type of facility, it's very, very troubling to know that this type of activity is taking place in one of our very own states.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And this is something I've written on a little bit recently for Heritage. Over the past couple of years, I've been pointing out this increased use of children in terrorist plots, not just in the Middle East, although you're absolutely right to point that out. The territory that was taken in Iraq and Syria, the way that ISIS indoctrinated an entire generation of children with this extremist ideology. But also, I could point to cases in Europe where recruiters have used 12-year-olds to plant bombs, or there has been people essentially infiltrating schools in order to teach young British Muslims kind of extremist ideology. So the Islamist terrorists obviously are targeting children It's increasingly clear that's the case. It's increasingly clear it's the case in the Middle East, certainly, but also, as you point out, in North America and also in Europe.
So do we know any of the connections that this specific compound might have had outside of the borders of this compound in New Mexico? Any affiliations that we might know about?
So far, there's not been any suggestion that there's a kind of link to Al-Qaeda or ISIS in Syria or Iraq or Yemen or anything like that. It appears to be at the moment, from what we know, it appears to be a homegrown case, although, as I kind of alluded to earlier, I still think we don't know all the ins and outs of this. But at the moment, it appears to be essentially a homegrown U.S. terror case. Or a potential terror case, I should clarify.
Sure. And these children, these 11 children, have been removed from this compound, and they are now in foster homes?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, there's very clear need to take these children away from the adult guardians they were with for self-evident reasons. I mean, the living conditions of this compound were, it was squalor, essentially. They needed to be taken away for obviously their own safety. I mean, not just the kind of the mental safety of the fact that they were potentially living in this kind of like extremist living environment, but also just physical safety. I mean, the fact that this Wahaj has seemingly killed his own son at this compound because he felt as if his son was mentally ill and required exorcism suggests there was obviously a threat to life there as well.
So, last question for you, Robin Simcox with Heritage, at Robin Simcox on Twitter. Thank you so much for coming on today. But the last question I have for you is, what are you looking as far as the next developments to come out of this case and this story? What do you think we'll find out next?
Well, I think that we've got to keep an eye on what charges are filed. Will tell us much about the nature of the evidence regarding a potential terrorism plot. Because at the moment, as I say, everything is revolving around child abuse and child neglect. Very important and very terrible crimes. But once you start having terrorism charges being put on top, then obviously the sentences for those crimes can be an awful lot higher. So I think we need to keep an eye out on that, to see what extent the prosecution try and develop the terrorism aspect of this, because at the moment the fact that the judge released them on bail would suggest that she's currently unconvinced of the merits of that. But as I say, I think there's more to come out on this in the days ahead, and it's worth keeping an eye on what exactly is being said in court to try and get a sense of how serious this was from a Homeland Security point of view.
Yeah, and a follow-up to that, is there any indication that there have ever been any other similar facilities in the United States to this one?
Well, I mean, there's certainly, you've had kind of like amateur training camps develop, but this use of children is quite unique. As you say, it's not unique in the Middle East, where you've seen children, carry out executions of prisoners by ISIS. But this angle of children potentially being trained to carry out some kind of attack is something quite unique and obviously something quite troubling.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Robin Simcox with Heritage Foundation, heritage.org, and follow him on Twitter at Robin Simcox. We appreciate your insight on this issue. It's a frightening issue to see unveil, and I think there's more details to come for sure.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. This is one of those walks like a duck, quacks like a duck's thing to me, but obviously the court system doesn't just abide by that. There's going to need to be evidence collected and proved and put in front of a judge, and I don't understand how these people were allowed out on bail, but they were. You have a dead child. I read somewhere that they said the child needed an exorcism, and I read somewhere that they thought maybe the child had schizophrenia. And what in the world, folks? I mean, when we're looking at, it's just terrible. It's really terrible. It's great that we got these 11 kids out of there. Hopefully we can recover them and take whatever has been put into their heads so far and repurpose some sort of life for them going forward in the future. But it is a tragedy. So we'll follow that story. We're going to continue watching it because I just don't feel like it's getting the national attention that it deserves. John Brennan got his security clearance revoked by President Trump. President Trump took away the security clearance of John Brennan. We're going to talk about that coming up, and also the Paul Manafort trial, where that stands, and possibly some news on that very soon. So stay tuned. On Twitter, at Annie Frey Show.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Join 97.1 at the inaugural Vet Fest Live on Saturday, September 1st for a multi-entertainment event celebrating veterans and their families. The all-day festival in House Springs kicks off with a golf tournament, followed by live country and blues music, world-class barbecue, local sports celebrities, and a charity bike raffle from Gold Star Harley-Davidson. Plus, meet Vet Fest founder and author Mark Green and learn about the Warriors Code movement to help veterans and their families. Get details on Vet Fest Live at 971talk.com.
Summer means savage savings at Tactical in St. Peter's. Mention the code word SAVAGE for a super secret squirrel savings on things that we're not supposed to put on sale.
Did you tell them we have 511 and Oakley tactical gear?
I did not.
Do you have unattractive siding, old worn-out windows? If you can't stay on this for another season, you've got to call Banner Construction today. You can call them at 314-569-1050, 314-569-1050, and just tell them that it's time that you do something about the siding on your home. And when you want the best and you want it done by the best, there's only one place to go, and the answer is clear. It's Banner Construction. They will design the perfect solution for your home, and they love a challenge, so don't think that your home is outside of their purview. They are going to do it the best, and you are going to be so excited to have that brand new look on your house. It's going to look like new construction, but it's going to feel like home, like the home it's felt like for so long. They also have these Beechworth windows that are beautiful wood windows. They have maintenance-free exteriors, and they compete with the best of the best when it comes to the high-end names in windows. You owe it yourself to compare. Marvin, Pella, Renewal by Anderson. You'll see that Beechworth has the best features from each brand, and it's all in one incredible window for you. Don't put it off another day. James Hardy Fiber Cement Siding and the Beechworth windows, absolutely gorgeous windows. Call Banner Construction at 314-569-1050, 314-569-1050, and have a banner day.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. Have you tried to buy the home of your dreams or refinance into the perfect loan, but been told that you don't qualify because you write off too much of your income? That's crazy. I have a new loan program where I don't even need your tax returns. Heck, I don't even need your pay stubs, W-2s, or 1099s. All I need are your bank statements to get you approved. Work with a lender who knows how to get your loan closed and apply for a bank statement mortgage today at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert, LLC.
Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Law Office of Lance Drury here in St. Louis. I'm sure you've seen or heard ads where people owed the IRS thousands of dollars and their tax bills were miraculously reduced to nothing. I'm here to tell you the same companies that run those ads are the ones that routinely force clients to call me when they don't resolve their IRS problems and stop returning calls. Look, the IRS doesn't make it easy to resolve a case. So don't waste precious time and money. Contact me, Lance Drury, today. I'm a local tax attorney, and I've helped hundreds resolve their IRS problems quickly and cost-efficiently. Schedule a free confidential appointment, and let's take control of your situation and protect your legal rights. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. You need an experienced tax attorney. You need me, Lance Drury. Call 314-260-6120 or toll free 888-367-6512 or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Learning to play the piano will change your child's life. Hi, this is Kathy from Lacefield Music. We decided to expand our Learn to Play philosophy and added a Yamaha music school for children to both South County and St. Charles locations. The Yamaha method is world-renowned, and studies show that playing music dramatically improves performance in school, raises IQ scores, and even more important, it lowers depression and raises self-esteem. But it has to be fun, and Lacefield Music specializes in making music fun. We have something for everyone: piano, voice, guitar, strings, brass, and woodwind. We have teachers for the very young, age 4 and up, private teachers for serious students, and for those that just want to play for fun. We also offer Yamaha group classes, and we have the perfect class for the young teen that's learning to play with YouTube. Give your child a head start in life today. To enroll, call 314-329-5320 or go to lacefieldmusic.com and click on Yamaha Music School. 314-329-5320.
Hi, I'm Dr. Nick Barnes of Health From Within Family Chiropractic and host of Maximize Living, Sundays at 8 a.m. at Health From Within. We focus on 5 essential areas to strengthen your nerve system and maximize your health. Your body alone, without medications, has tremendous power to heal itself. At Health From Within, we unlock those natural healing powers you possess. To learn more about our unique approach, go to healthfromwithinstl.com. That's healthfromwithinstl.com, and join us Sunday mornings at 8 a.m. on FM News Talk 97.1.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast on demand and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Christine, you've been holding for a while. We want to make sure we get you on here. Thanks for calling the show. We appreciate it.
Annie?
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Sure.
I want to talk about Sandra McDowell's candidacy. So she's lived here 8 years in Missouri, but they need to take into effect that she's an Air Force veteran and she has served her country. And as you know, they give citizenship to illegal aliens who serve in the military. I think Missouri can put an initiative through to grant her the remaining 2 years for her Missouri residency. They need to get on this because the election's in November.
Yeah. So
it's ridiculous.
The story is that we reported earlier. Tony, do you want to? Oh, that was Frank's story, I guess, but you can report it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got it all right here. So, the person who won the Republican primary for state auditor is Sandra McDowell, and she's an attorney. She lives in Jeff City. The state constitution says you cannot be an auditor. You cannot hold that office unless you lived in Missouri for 10 years. And she moved to Missouri in 2010, which obviously was 8 years ago. However, legal experts differ on her interpretation of the state constitution. McDowell has a plausible case for meeting the residency requirement based on a 1972 ruling by the Missouri Supreme Court. This is according to Michael Wolf, who is a retired judge of the Missouri Supreme Court and the former dean of St. Louis University Law School. He explains there was a court decision that deemed Kit Bond qualified to run for governor after living outside the state for nearly a decade, and he believes that shows that the courts will stretch to not exclude a candidate who has a clear connection to the state. So there are... So the candidate has some interpretations of...
She's lived here for 8 years. It says she needs to be here for 10 years. And Christine, you think that her service should make up for those other two?
Yes, because, I mean, obviously they give citizenship to aliens who serve. I mean, what state are they claiming? Well, they're not even citizens, and they come out of the military with citizenship. So, I mean, it's ridiculous. She has served in the Air Force. I think they need to put it through a vote of the Missouri legislature immediately.
Christine,
because we have to settle this.
Yeah, Christine, I think it's an interesting point, and I appreciate you calling in and holding. Mechanically speaking, I don't really know how the problem gets solved. We talked to State Representative Nick Schroer, and he kind of alluded to the same thing. Like,
it seems black and white, but then when you hear that there has been precedents in the past where the Missouri Supreme Court has bent the rules or made an exemption, then I'm sure that there are lawyers out there that will be willing to fight, that side, and it's not as black and white as it initially appeared.
Yeah. Speaking of black and white, we were also talking about with Tyrus about the issue of the usage of the word that could potentially be on this tape that Omarosa has access to. And, when you look at what the party on the left has right now, and you look at what they're bringing to the table, Tyrus, I think Tyrus made a very good point, and that what the left is right now is everything anti-Trump. And when you look at the criticisms that people, at least when the ones that they call into this show to try to maybe counter the things that I say on a daily basis, who calls into the show and says something about the president and his spending on the military, his increasing the spending on military? We don't even really get people criticizing his tax reform bill.
No.
We don't get people who are calling in here and criticizing the things that he's done as the president. We only get criticisms of the man who is the president. Now, is that valid? Sure, you can hate the man. I actually know lots of people who are Republicans who like the president and hate the man.
Yeah.
I think that's possible too.
Mm-hmm.
I know people who are Democrats who loved Obama in 2008 and by 2014, 15, and 16 were massively disappointed in him. Mm-hmm. It goes back to that Facebook post that I put up this past weekend, and I told you, Katie, I was like, I regretted that one. But I didn't want to take it down because I thought if I take it down, then it's like I'm admitting I'm wrong. The lesson that I learned here was that you can't really do nuance on Facebook. Did you know that, Tony Colombo? That nuance is not really best post on
social
Facebook.
media. Yeah. And on any or in an email
where you can't verbally say it and then you can hear
I don't know
it.
if you were in here when we were talking about this, maybe Monday, but I said that President Obama was likable, and some people thought that I am now the stupidest person they'd ever heard. But I mean, don't you think that that Barack Obama can be a likable person and still be a terrible president?
Yes, I think that was his platform. And I think that's exactly what Barack Obama was.
Charming.
Yes, he charmed the pants off of people in every way, shape, and form. well,
every way, shape,
and form.
Pants?
Not like that.
Not like that.
But I mean, to your point, what you're saying right there. No, but that's the thing. That's, let's segue into Donald Trump. I mean, the things that people hate about Donald Trump is kind of that he is a philanderer, that he doesn't respect his marriage, is that he is not somebody who, as is indicated by the people who call here on a regular basis, 314-241-9797, and say, do you want your children looking up at this president and behaving like him? And it's like, no, I don't. But it's not like I turn off every football game or NBA game or baseball game or movie or song because the person who's singing or performing there isn't a role model for my child. So the big difference here is that President Trump is a president that we can respect and a man that maybe we don't. And that President Obama is a president that we didn't really respect and a man that maybe we could. Politics, political affiliations aside, it's hard to understand that, but I think it's important to understand that because when the people on the right look at Obama and say, how in the world can people like this guy? It's because the people who like him aren't thinking about politics, or their politics are just completely the opposite. The thing is that the people who like the president just for his politics, they're not the ones who are making a big noise about President Obama. And the people who like, who don't like President Trump for the man he is, those are the people who are making a big noise. It's just, it's hard to understand when you're talking about these two presidents because they're the converse of each other in multiple ways. and they're incomparable. The massive whiplash change that we made in 2016 going into 2017, it was very stark. Mm-hmm. And the people who were happy with President Obama and the people who are happy with President Trump may have been happy with their presidents for different reasons. So then when you are looking at the reason you're happy with the president that you like and comparing the other guy, you just don't get it. But the truth is that sometimes the affinity is based on a different reason. All right, let's take some phone calls when we come back here. 314-241-9797 on Twitter at Andy Frey Show. We'll be back in just a minute.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show. Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather.
The official FM News Talk 97.1 Weather Center forecast. Times of clouds and sunshine today. Very warm and humid with a high of 89. Partly to mostly cloudy, warm and muggy tonight with a shower or thunderstorm, low 73. For tomorrow, variable cloudiness. It'll be humid with a shower and thunderstorm in the area, high 85. Then for Saturday, partly sunny, very warm and humid with a high in the upper 80s to near 90. I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg for FM News Talk 97.1.
The $1,000 political payoff.
I was having a beverage. This hour's keyword is fame. Text the word fame. David Bowie had a song called Fame. 272-881. Yes, thank you. We're using these in a sentence.
That's a great sentence.
We always get questions. What was the word? How? It couldn't understand what it was. So
yeah.
Fame.
F-A-M-E.
That's right. 72881 by the end of the hour for your chance to win your $1,000 political payoff. That's fame. 272-881. Message and data rate supply. This is a national contest. For complete rules, visit 971talk.com/rules.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show, live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Don't think you can afford a new heating and cooling system? You can with 0% financing for 24 to 72 months on select heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
This stock liquidation sale going on right now at the Diamond Shop in Clayton is a must-do for you. If you've got an anniversary, a birthday, or even Christmas coming up, now's the time to get into the Diamond Shop and look at all the beautiful pieces that they have on sale. Like I said, up to 60 and 70% off. You heard that right. Items in every category are available. So you want to make sure you get in there and check out the inventory that they have right now so that, you know, once it's gone because they're going to bring in even more beautiful stuff to replace it. You want to be a part of this sale. You can't miss it. You can visit them online at thediamondshop.net, and they have a wish list option right there. I'm telling you what, folks, create a wish list. Send it to your husband. You'll get nice things over the course of time. And he can go in right now and maybe put a few of them in a special place where he keeps them in case he needs to use them in case of an emergency, if you know what I mean. You can go to this website and create that wish list. You can save it for yourself. You can take it into the shop and they can help show you around the shop. They have a fantastic selection right now and unbeatable prices on something from every category, like I said, even men's and women's watches. Make sure you let them know that Annie sent you. They're located at Central Avenue in Clayton. There's free parking in the back. Visit them online at thediamondshop.net.
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
An effective defense often hinges on sophisticated strategies relating to income tax projections, business valuations, spousal support claims. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters. matters. And that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's St. Louis area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 314-725-0000. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Offices in Chesterfield, St. Charles, Arnold, Edwardsville, and Belleville.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision that should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Cordell & Cordell, 600 Kelwood Parkway, Suite 310, Chesterfield, Missouri, 63017.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-262-2917. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns, help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-262-2917 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-262-2917 to see if you qualify. That's 800-262-2917.
Mark Close here for Britain Vision. When you have a procedure done, like medical procedure, there's always the before and after. We went to Britain Vision. My wife, Fern, and I. Fern had some eyesight problems for a while now. We went in. We had a pre-meeting, if you will, with Dr. Brinton, and it was great because he explains everything and he answers all the questions. And Fern had some problems, with driving and night vision, and then she had to put her specs on to see distance and the reading and all that. We thought, you know what, it's time to do something. And you're a little hesitant at first because this is your eyesight. Even not me, of my wife, but I'm still hesitant about it. We sat down, had the meeting with Dr. Brinton, and just felt really, really good about it. Fern went in, had the procedure. It took literally 20 minutes. She walked out. I was waiting for her. She walked out, and you could see the smile on her face because she was seeing things she had never seen before for a long, long time. If you want to find out more, check out BrintonVision.com or give them a call at 314-375-2020.
Dave Glover.
So many classic things could never be made today because of what I consider to be left-wing neo-Puritans.
Dave Glover, weekdays at 3 on FM News Talk 97.1.
The only way you can take FM News Talk 97.1 with you is the radio.com app, available on your smartphone in the App Store. Download the radio.com app today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
FM News Talk 97.1.
And it's bringing me out of the dark. Finally, I can see it crystal clear. Go ahead and sell me out and I'll lay you bare. See how I will leave with every part of you. Don't underestimate the things that I will do.
It's Aretha. Golly, never heard this before. Are you, Tony, loving this, or are you like, make it stop?
Oh, I love it. Love it.
She's so good that I don't know. When I was looking through the list of covers and everything that she did, there were some that, like, especially I wanted some gospel. I wanted like some Take Me to Church Aretha.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But the beginnings of them were so... Okay, this has to end. The beginning of them were so long and... I'm like, let's get to the point.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And but she's good. And I can imagine that seeing her in concert would just kind of be like,
well, what we've played today with her renditions of Beatles songs, she just completely ripped them apart and made them her own.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
You sound like an American Idol judge.
Well, ladies and gentlemen.
Real quick here before we have to wrap things up, 314-241-9797 if you'd like to give us a call. Dave, thanks for calling the show.
Hey, Annie, thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome.
I'd like to say to everybody out there that says that it's impossible to support the president because of his lifestyle and his philandering, tell that to those 40,000 people that were screaming for Tiger Woods on Sunday to win that PGA championship, because I don't think their lifestyles with with their marriage and with women are too far apart.
You know, Dave, that was a story that I didn't really, I think, I mean, everybody knows about it, but when you think about the highest of highs and then the lowest of lows, and then what Tiger Woods was able to do here in St. Louis, America seems to be a pretty forgiving people, but I would assume that the people who hate this president, they're always going to hate the president. That's for sure.
And I think that the Tiger Woods probably has the media on his side, and President Trump doesn't.
Yeah, and that's a big deal. That's a really big deal. It's a good point. Dave, thanks for calling the show.
You're welcome. Bye.
It's a very interesting analogy. The difference here is, what is Tiger Woods doing for you and me?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And what is Trump supposed to be doing for you and me? That's why I keep saying these people hate the president's policies as much, if not more, than they hate the man. The only way that they can attack what is President Donald Trump right now is to go after him as a person, because his policies are working. And it's Donald Trump has made it easy for them to go after his personal life. I will add to this, and we talked about this quite a bit when the Eric Greitens saga was going on. Donald Trump has never pretended to be somebody different than who we know him to be.
Right.
Donald Trump has always been Donald Trump. He hasn't like championed it. He hasn't said it doesn't exist. He hasn't denied it. He really hasn't addressed it. And, you know, social media has been around since the mid-2000s, I guess. Facebook, I mean, MySpace, I don't even really count MySpace, and I think Facebook was really the launch of actual
advanced social media.
Where it really embraced all people. But that was out in like 2003 or 2004. And so I would think that anybody who is entering 5th or 6th grade after 2005, your life is going to be documented.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to do dumb things, and it is going to be in plain sight for people to see. And as much as parents as we may from time to time try to keep that on lockdown, I don't know that you really fully can. Tony, do you have you've got a teenager and a 7-year-old, is that right?
Yeah, be 8 in a couple weeks, but yeah.
Do you have, you may not want to discuss it, I haven't asked you this,
no, go ahead.
What your social media philosophy, parenting philosophy with a teenage girl, and then one who's going to be seeing her sister do everything and say, you know, well, she's doing it. How come she gets to do it? I want to do it. I was the middle. I was the second sister, so second daughter. So
Grace
I know about that.
Grace has a Twitter and an Instagram, and we
You have the logins?
monitor it. Yeah.
Log in. What do you think I am, stupid?
Yeah, and we and we keep an eye on it.
Have you talked to her about what she is allowed to post and what she's not allowed to post?
Yes, not in depth. When she created these accounts, we had a conversation of what is your goal? Why
are you doing this?
Yeah, what do you want from this? And it's the Twitter is mostly to follow her favorite YouTubers and musicians and things like that. She very rarely, she does not post very often at all, but she likes to, follow her favorites.
And to interject here real quick, there's a lot of people who are huge 97.1 listeners. They have Twitter so that they can follow along with the shows.
Get the updates.
They don't. They're not there to have a big following. It's not like they have something big to say, but they want to follow the Fox News personalities. They want to follow Mark Cox and
they want to see what they have.
Yeah,
they want to see what their favorites have. Their favorite people have to say.
That's a pretty normal usage of Twitter, so it's interesting to see.
So she doesn't post very much, and it's sort of the same with the Instagram. And if she does post pictures on Instagram, it's usually of like her new shirt, but her new shirt that's laying on her bed.
Yeah. But is that
she's
a
not,
conversation that you had? Did you say?
No, because she explained that that's what she wanted to do, and so far she's stuck to that. So we haven't had to get too deep into it. Like, if she was going to start putting pictures of herself more on there, then
a different discussion would happen.
Correct.
How self-indulgent is social media for teenagers these days. Like when I am looking at connections that I have on social media through various reasons in my life, especially if for whatever reason, maybe somebody likes something that somebody else did and I don't know them, this need to take selfies and have people see you taking a picture of yourself.
Yeah, she doesn't have that too
It's
much.
real.
Right.
So then does she understand
does. I mean, she
that-
wanted to take, like when we were in Michigan last week.
Yeah.
She wanted to take some pictures in Michigan and post them on Instagram, and it was fine.
Does she understand how dangerous social media can be?
I think so. We've had that. We've had that discussion.
Hopefully that's
To a
something
certain
too
extent.
that they've incorporated into school.
Yeah.
I hope school might be a place.
Maybe they have. But I'm not gonna
rely.
I'm not gonna rely.
No,
on
no,
school
no.
to
Not,
do
not
that.
rely on it, but that, like, speaking of changing things,
Yeah.
that's
Having a
something that
seminar
I
or
hope
something.
that
Right.
school incorporates. At
I
some
mean,
point.
when I'm looking towards the future, because like I have all these ideas in my mind of what I'm going to let my kids do and not do, but they're still young. So by the time they're
Right.
like, gimme, 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 the whole game will have changed probably 2 or 3 times by
Mm-hmm.
then. And there's also this understanding of when we were growing up, you always know more than your parents think that you know. And you find, like, I rode the bus. And when I rode the bus, literally, they've changed this since then. But my bus that would come into my neighborhood would have from me in kindergarten all the way through seniors in high school. That was a bad idea. I learned a lot of things on the bus.
Yeah.
But, at school.
Ours were the same way.
At school, you learn stuff. And you don't go home and tell mom and dad immediately, oh, did you hear blah, blah, blah? Or you hear other kids that get away with other things. I'm just curious if, is that something where you need to, like, sit them down, and you're looking at them knee to knee, eye to eye, and saying, you're going to need to understand what I'm going to tell you. Or do you just keep your eyes very close on the whole process?
For me, it's more of that last part with a little bit of the first part mixed in. But that's me. And every parent should know their kid and know what they need.
Yeah. What kind?
The type of guidance and how in depth you need to get to make your point.
Yeah. It's an interesting.
It's all different. I would imagine that the conversations I'll have with Maggie when she gets to that age are going to be different than the conversations I'm having with Grace, because Maggie is different. Her behaviors might be different. The way that she understands things might be different. Mm-hmm. And then probably again with James when he gets there. So
yeah, and it's different for boys.
There's
and
no
girls.
one way to do it.
All right. Well, before we get out of here, the Paul Manafort trial, the jury has been deliberating today. They have not reached a verdict yet, and they have to have all 12 jurors have to come to a unanimous conclusion.
And there's 18 counts, so there's going to be a little bit of there's some of that's being probably holding things up too.
Yeah. So we'll continue to follow that and hopefully potentially have a resolution for you tomorrow. If it doesn't happen between now and when we start the show tomorrow, it's possible it'll happen during the show. It's a very compelling story because it shows what kind of guy Paul Manafort is. Rick Gates, the things that we discovered about him, not very flattering. So we are seeing a bit of the underbelly here of how things have been done previously, and not just in Washington, D.C. politics, but really global politics, because a lot of Paul Manafort's doings were with Ukraine. So we're going to follow that and see what, it'll be interesting to see how the mainstream media reacts and what our reaction will be based on a guilty or not guilty verdict. If he's completely acquitted, how will the left spin that when it comes to President Trump? Because they're relying heavily on anything that will help push us in the direction of understanding this idea of Donald Trump trying to steal this election. Remember, that's what it was all about in the first place. Aretha Franklin, dead at 76. Just a very, very fantastic career that she had, and she was surrounded by her family. And so we send her off with a goodbye. Hope you enjoyed the Aretha Franklin music today. And Dave Glover Show coming up next. Our podcast is available at radio.com. You can go there and check out the podcast, the interviews. If you missed Tyrus, it's all there. We'll see you tomorrow.
Gonna lose control tonight. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
If you're retiring in the next 5 years, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with Stifel and host of On the Money, heard every Saturday from 11 till noon on FM News Talk 97.1. Retirement is a huge step, and when it comes to investing your retirement assets, you can't afford to make mistakes. It's vitally important that you work with an experienced professional to guide you through important retirement decisions. If you're retiring soon, we should meet to develop a clear plan for your retirement goals. Your meeting is an opportunity to understand your retirement situation and discuss how you can